Friday night football here. And we have, of course, we've got Essendon Bombers playing the Sydney Swans. What's going to happen tonight? That is the question. What is going to happen tonight? Should be a fantastic game between these two teams, although my tip is the Sydney Swans. It should be very hard to beat. Both teams looking to secure their spot in the top 8. Well, Sydney's actually on top of the ladder. Essendon, it's their last roll of the dice for them to get into the top 8, play finals. We've got finals action coming your way in about 2 weeks' time. So it's going to be very interesting and exciting finals here. We'll just have a quick look at the ladder. There is Sydney Swans. They're on top of the ladder. They are a game clear with 2 games to go. They need to win this match to secure top spot and a home final for them. Whereas Essendon sitting down there in 10th position, they need to win this match or it's lights out. It's season over for them. And they'll have to wait until next year to have another crack at the finals. Of course, they're only half a game outside of the top 8, but they need to win this. Al, how you going? Who are you backing to win tonight? I think Sydney will win this tonight. I think Sydney will win. Although Essendon, Essendon will need to give it their all to have a chance to play finals. As you can see there, Essendon need to win the next 2 games to have a mathematical chance. But I think Sydney Swans, they will do it tonight. I'll just straighten this up a little bit. I think they'll definitely do it tonight. They need to bring the heat, the Sydney Swans, tonight. They need to start and get their form back into line. And I think tonight is the night that they will do it. Let me just roll that back over there for a jiffy. We've got 10 minutes to go before the bounce of the ball, the first quarter. So it's going to be a ripper of a game tonight. We'll go down to the ground not too far away, but just let's have a little bit of a look at the lineups. You waited 13 years and all of the sadness and torment and hurt and pain by other AFL teams, clubs. I know it's not the best, Al, when, especially when, one team dominates. The fans sort of give it to everyone, don't they? I'm a bit like that. But anyway, we're going to have a look at the lineups. And, of course, coming in for Essendon is Perkins and Weedham. Going out as Cox and Davey. Their full backs are Kelly, McKay, Laverde, Martin, Redmond, McGrath, halfbacks. Centres are Perkins, Parrish, Roberts. Their half forwards, Jones, Caddy, Durham. Their forwards, Langford, Stringer, Jake the Package Stringer, and Shield, of course. There's their interchanges and emergencies. Looks like there's no big matches for either player there. I forget what the name of that is now. My gosh. It does hurt, Al. It does. No milestone games, I should say. Coming in for Sydney, we got Melican and Corey Werner, but the big out there for Sydney. Sometimes I think he's the match winner. Chad Warner, he goes out for the Sydney Swans with Fox. But their fullbacks, their team lineup is Rampy, McCartan, Blakey, their halfbacks, Melican, Cunningham, Florent, Lloyd, Mills and Goulden go into the centre. Parker, McLean, Jordan, their half forwards. Their forwards, McDonald, Armony, Haywood, and of course their followers are Grundy, Heaney and Rowbottom. There are the interchanges and emergencies. All right, that is the team lineup for tonight. That's not going to be there just yet, so we'll wait for that. We'll kick it back over to here, but not too far away. We're going to head down to the ground, see what the commentators have to say before the start of this match. It's going to be a cracker of a game, Al. It's going to be a cracker. I'm sure Essendon are going to bring out their big guns. They're going to be firing early, but will Sydney come with that brilliance of their last quarter from last week? Let me just try and get this a little bit better for everyone. Just try and line this up. Just bring that up a bit. Just try and get this nice and straight. Tell you what, it's always a bit of fun doing this, Al, trying to get this right. But yeah, hopefully, I think the Swans will win tonight. I think they'll be too good. I think they might have just hit their form again, which is what you're looking for. That is for sure and certain. But it should be in for a good game, no matter what. No matter what. If we have a look, actually, I think if we go down here, the last 3 times they've met, last time they met, the Swans won by 30 points. The time before that, the Swans won by 2 points. And the time before that, the Bombers won by 9 points. So it looks like the Swans are getting a little bit of a grasp on the Bombers. So that's the last 3 encounters. So it's not too bad. We're only 6 minutes away. Let me see if that board's up yet. No, the score line, the worm isn't up just quite yet. That's not too bad though. Anyway, I might take it down to the commentators. They're going to have a few words. And of course, Dyson Heppel made his retirement speech this week for the Bombers. So a little bit sad for the Bombers, but a good career all the same. We'll take it over to a couple of the boys there. They're having a little bit of a discussion on the pre-match. We'll get down to them and listen to what they have to say.
In that big game a few weeks ago, and obviously Anzac Day earlier in the year. So, I think that they've just got to be able to. They've just got to be able to put some defensive pressure on the opposition. We spoke about those fundamentals and just stop the flow on from when Sydney get the flow. Now, Sydney have been very inconsistent within game, I think, for the back half of the year, not just the last 3 or 4 weeks. So can they just minimise the damage when Sydney gets momentum, which they will throughout the game?
Yeah, and the last 4 weeks, Sydney have given up 5 or more goals in the first quarter. So there is your opportunity to shop early.
All right, we're going to go to a break. 6 minutes away from the bounce of the ball. Massive game. It is Essendon up against the Swans. Friday night footy. There's plenty more still to come on Fox Sports.
All right, so while they've just gone to an ad break, come back there. And of course, Al, thanks for coming in. Big Sydney Swans fan in the chat there we've got. Of course, he's hoping for a Swans victory tonight. He's hoping they go well in the finals. Of course, that's only a couple of weeks away. We've got this week is the second last round. Of course, next week is the final round of the home and away season. Now, I'm led to believe it's a chance, I think, from memory for what we had last year. We did have a week off between the last game of the home and away season and the first week of the final. So we'll see whether that happens again this year, folks. That'll be very, very interesting. We'll keep our eyes peeled on that to see what happens in that regard. But yeah, we're only about 4 minutes away here. It should be a good game. As I said, expecting... There we go. Let me just take that. That's what we're looking for. Get that worm up on the page. And just adjust it a little bit. That's better. Now we've got the worm there. This is the graph, folks. First quarter, second, third, and final quarter. This will show you the graph. If your team is leading, of course, if you're an Essendon fan and you're in front, your graph will be going here. Of course, you'll have the score up here, but the graph will go up and you can see where and how you were travelling throughout the game, etc., like that. So we're only a few minutes away. So let me just have a little bit of a look and let you good folks know who else we've got playing this week. Of course, tonight we've got Essendon taking on Sydney. Of course, we've got the league ladder leaders there in the Sydney Swans. They're sitting on top. Essendon sitting down in 10th. As I said before, Essendon need to win this to have any chance at all to make the finals this year. And of course, Sydney will want to win this to secure top spot on the ladder. All right, so that is tonight's match. Of course, there still are plenty more matches to come over the weekend. Of course, tomorrow there is the Gold Coast Suns. They're taking on the Melbourne Football Club. We've got the GWS Giants. They're taking on Fremantle. Big match for both teams. They're both vying for a home final. and they will be out and giving it their all to win, both of those sides. Then, of course, Saturday afternoon, this will be a game I'll definitely be covering. I'll be covering, I think, 3 games tomorrow night, folks. That'll be GWS and Fremantle. And, of course, the next big game I'll be covering, I'll be covering Collingwood and the Brisbane Lions. That's playing at the MCG. That should be a ring-a-ding-ding. They are the 2 grand finalists from last year, so it'll be very, very interesting to see what happens in that match tomorrow afternoon. Of course, tomorrow evening we've got Port Adelaide and Adelaide, the derby over there in South Australia. That should be a real good match over there as well. And, of course, the other game on tomorrow evening is St Kilda versus Geelong. Geelong also wanting a victory to try and climb that ladder. As I said, everyone's chasing a top 4 position, so it's going to be a fantastic weekend of football. That rounds out Saturday. Then on Sunday, folks, we've got the Western Bulldogs versus North Melbourne. I expect Western Bulldogs to win this one quite comfortably. Of course, Sunday, big match. We've got Hawthorn and Richmond, I think. Hawthorn, well, let's just say, I think they're a big chance to win this by about 100 points on Sunday. And, of course, the final game of the round will be another game I'll cover, which will be West Coast and Carlton. That should be another cracking game over in Perth. I expect that to be a good game. So plenty of things on option there for the weekend. A big weekend of football. Go down, have a look at the toss. And the toss was won by Sydney Swans tonight. We'll take you down to the ground. We've got 1 minute, 15 seconds to go, or just under a minute, until the bounce of the ball for the first quarter.
We'll be able to have a look at in the first 5 minutes. It'll speak a little bit to Sydney's attitude towards how they're going to break this team down.
I reckon this will be an emotional start. We saw Dyson Heppel in the rooms before. I've got no doubt he probably addressed the group in before they ran out. So you can see they're probably reiterating what Dyson meant to this football club, and certainly maybe a message pre-game.
And on top of that, Sydney is 17th for first quarters in the competition. So let's not forget that. They are 8-zip when they win first quarter. So here's some beautiful pictures. Look at this, the emotion of footy. This is what stands out the most for me and Dyson Heppel when I think about Dyson Heppel. It is his connection with his supportive group. And that is from the 85-year-old, the 90-year-old, right through to that young girl there who's in tears. Yeah. And that's what's going to be missed, and that's why we're admiring and love it for it. Righto, gloves off here. Last 5 times they've played, the Swans have had the wood on them, obviously. So here we go. Swans want to stay on top of the ladder. They want to host 2 home finals in Sydney and get to the MCG on grand final day. Draper goes to the goal square with McCartan. Brian will ruck.
Durham high forward, maybe looking for a target from there.
Yep, could roll in after the bounce. So Marty needs to find some form. Mackay's gone to him. And can Grundy get going? Goulden inside the centre square with Merritt. Brian in the ruck. Beautiful setup here for Marvel Stadium. It is the Bombers and the Swans.
Friday night football underway. Grundy parks himself under it. Brian with the clearance. It's a good one too. Long ball forward. And Blakey at the back. Slides it wide for Florin, who's able to see it out.
So just watching James Jordan there. Obviously he starts forward. He does that every week. And he's running straight across to Zach Merritt. So that's the matchup. Get used to that, Zach.
Grundy with strength.
Tackle.
Follow-up tackles high.
And then high tackle. Stand there, Brody.
Caldwell, big deal signed during the week. Penetrating kick inside. Draper at the back, couldn't extend the hands. Measure and kick finds McDonald.
One player that's got to stand up the rest of the year. Logan McDonald back forward tonight with Melican back. Lloyd. This is where they want to get into the corridor. As Hodgie pointed out pre-game, Collingwood really took that away from them last week.
Sydney doing a good job to congest it again tonight. They would.
And for the point of the square at half-back, Mackay judging it nicely.
That's what they want. They want to force Sydney to go long down the line, try and get those intercept marks, and then here Essendon can then try and rebound through the corridor themselves.
He's another one that's got to put it together tonight. Wide, that's a nice mark by Caddy. Gee, that's strong, JB.
Yeah, lovely set of hands, aren't they? Short, missing Merritt. There's Jordan, that matchup Richo's spoken about.
Durham, we know, plays a role. He has done a number of times this year, and side bottom went to Goulden last week. Looks like Durham is going to go to him tonight.
Heaney and Caldwell. Caldwell won that one-on-one really nicely. Parrish. Cunningham with real courage across the face of that. Caddy went without. No purchase on the ball. That certainly hasn't gone far enough. But it stays inside forward 50 for the Bombers.
That's all they wanted from Draper. Just making a contest, bring the ball to ground, trying to give his crummers an opportunity.
You're expecting to see a lot of him at this end of the ground tonight, Hodgie?
Yeah, if their hand on the stoppage is okay, I reckon he will play a little bit more forward, but that's all they're wanting. Just have a compete, bring the ball to ground, try and get more stoppages in their forward half.
Ryan's their other ruckman here tonight.
It looks like, yeah, I think they want to settle on Brian moving forward. Clearly, Goldstein, we don't know what's happening with him next year.
18th game for Brian. There's that little win there, but Florent on the end of it gets it out, kicks it to a genuine one-on-one here. Hayward's a class, we know that. There with him was the young Archie Robbins. McGrath did well. Kelly just got the little touch in there to keep it working. Caddy's handball was smothered. Hayward doing some work early for Sydney.
Already loving Caddy's work rate. Found himself in a few contests over the other side. They pushed it across there to put some pressure on.
Brad Scott during the week saying he wants the Bombers to play like their lives depend on it. They got 2 hours to back up the coach. First foray forward here for Sydney. Amadi and Ben Mackay, and over it goes.
They've been averaging 7 marks inside 50 since round 19, Sydney. Clearly going to need more than that tonight. Need their tools to take some marks inside 50.
Already seen a number of stoppages. Heaney on the fly. Merritt, the quick hands were good. Durham, Wiedemann. Durham back at it. Free kick, I reckon.
Essendon, play downfield. Down there.
Confused as to where the free kick was.
That was on Jordan, on Merritt.
It was Roberts. Right to Parrish. So a slow start to this game. Sides testing each other out at the moment. Parrish down the line. Here's Draper again. His second opportunity. They plopped it on his head. Caldwell, magnificent front and centre. A drilling ball, not his greatest kick though. And Florent did well to defend it.
Caldwell started well on Heaney.
This is the issue that Essendon have had all year. 4 inside 50s, no scores. That connection for that last kick on inside forward 50s really hurt him.
Florent busy early. Kick works. Didn't look great off the boot. Jordan, Goulden. Just got to hack it forward. Easy back there for Laverty. Now McGrath.
Really good intercepting form, Laverty, Ben Mackay. Just haven't really been able to take advantage of it and score from it.
Long down the line. McCartan. In and out of his hands.
Disappointed with himself there. Tom McCartan letting that go through the hands.
This way, you'll see if any Essendon teammates want to go across and give the skipper a bit of a chop out. He's had to do it all by himself so far, those stoppages.
And the Shield, he got the run of it, but a hurried kick as a result, straight down the throat of Mills. Mills exploring. Did well, McDonald, to create a little bit of separation. Wiedemann there with him. Picked up now by Roberts. I think that handball was for him to go and get himself. Ran out of room. Lloyd. Laverty. McGrath able to get onto it. Ordinary kick. Blakey. Can he rebound and get it over the top? They're out here if they can keep going. Bombers getting an extra back now. Hayward, but Amadi. Can he go the journey from there? Going to drill it long to the square. No one home. That is not a good kick at all. A thoughtless kick.
No, I mean, that is so low percentage to score from there, and he's just given it straight back to Redmond. A couple of times now moving forward, Essendon have had really good shape, and Sydney, their forwards have got too far up the ground.
McGrath can't get it over the head of Braden Campbell. Drilling ball into the stomach of Hayward.
Grundy's got some space here.
Blakey drops it in that direction, doesn't get to him. Cleary.
If it wasn't Cleary, Grundy would have marked it on his chest.
That's why that running handball receive carry from the half-back is blokes like Blake is so important. Just opens up the field, kicking across your body.
Caden Cleary, the youngest Swan out there. That's what's ahead of him. Always left.
He'll learn from that kick. The Bombers, no damage done for them yet. Sydney, can they kick into top gear in this game? Redmond to Shield. Mackay. Gonna go. Now wide, looking for the corridor really if they could, but nothing on offer. Verdi, Sydney blocking that up. Look at the number of players inside there. Wiedemann, to McGrath, to go to Caldwell. Got a split second to get rid of it. Driving ball down the line to Caddy. Blakey defended beautifully. Caddy and Blakey go at it. It's 3-on-1 for the Bombers. Caddy couldn't make it work. Malikan went in and took it out strongly. Swans arrive on numbers. Trying to win it out is Adams. And they do now through Goulden.
Cleary, not a lot of space here at the moment. Tight in the clinches early on Friday night. Exploring Laverty. Blakey's already been really good a couple of times. Spins to Bryan, and no one home.
I reckon Bryan just had to give a handball off there. There was some numbers forward of him instead of Blazing.
Heaney, penetrating ball for Jordan. What a superb field kick. He has to hold up.
Hayward on top of the square on young Roberts.
Harry Cunningham. To a dangerous spot. McLean edged out of it. Amadi comes through. Roberts. Martin. They work their way out of trouble.
Redmond. Chain of handballs ending in the shield on his favoured left side. He passes that up. Kelly, another left footer. The smother mid-air by Florent. Tidied up here by Gresham. And that's not going to work for the Bombers, I wouldn't have thought, although Darren's underneath it. That Dar's in amongst three Sydney players. Darren goes long, really long. Can Langford get there on Campbell? Brings it to the ground. Blakey under real pressure. Handled it well. And what a kick. Although Jones benefits. Inside. The rebound ball and Martin's got underneath it. Didn't judge it at all well. Gresham back to Martin. They had plenty of time. Bombers get the first goal. Made a little hard work of it. First goal of the game going the Bombers' way.
So this is where it all went wrong for the Swans. Blakey did so well to be able to take that ball and then get it to clear. He just made a mistake, the young player. Then Martin got under it. It was a bit Benny Hillish, all of this. Eventually, that's the first goal of the game for Essendon. And they have dominated the inside 50s 8-4.
They worked so hard for that goal.
I mean, they're killing the Swans in the contest too. 19-8, 5-2 clearance. They needed to convert something into that.
Draper now into the middle. Shield comes away. Parrish gives it back to him. Such a good-looking player on the burst, Dylan Shield. Another inside 50 here for the Bombers. It's not great. McCartan mops it up. Kicks it straight to Roberts. Really like this young kid. Inside he goes and finds Cornwell.
So red lights everywhere for the Swans now. This is another slow start. The last 4 weeks they've given up at least 5 goals in the first quarter, and it's starting to look like that again here.
That was actually a nice kick there. Just lowered the vision. Sydney had a couple of blokes. If he had it went long, just able to pull that little kick in a bit shorter. Nice little mark inside 50.
The Bombers second in as many minutes. They missed everything last week. And that's a miss.
Signed a 4-year deal during the week. John Caldwell.
Much deserved. Yep. Him and Durham have just given this Bombers midfield something else.
There's Blakey. Used to go very wide to Cunningham. Could be very strategic about the way they go about it. Quick movement of the footy unless absolutely certain. Hayward's been involved in most things. Warren was sat, if you like, gently on his back by Langford. Got him raised a fair height in the air. Tackles, good sign for the Bombers, 5-1. Langford now trying to point something out. Draper's there to compete again. He does just that. Little handball to Jordan. Grundy. Adams shakes the tail a little. Goes back to Cunningham. He goes around the corner. All one-on-ones here at the moment. Can the Bombers get another look? Parrish at ground level. Shields there. Hayward's got him in the tackle. Martin scooped it up. Almost a throw. Jones. Caldwell. Bundled out of the way by Heaney. Went back and had another go. And the Bombers fighting inside their forward half.
There's the length of tackle then, which is smart. Didn't want to throw him into the ground. Adjusted for the rules. Hold the ball.
Clean possession, Draper, good dish. Martin from long range. Lots of talent here. Got his second. Always been a beautiful finisher. Nick Martin. This is now a good start for the Bombers.
Well, it's a centre forward stoppage for Essendon. You don't leave a bloke like Nick Martin by himself. That's a positive about having Draper in the ruck, his strength, but then leaving a bloke who's such a nice kick of the ball within 55 all by himself. Smart by Draper, rip it out, and then Martin was never going to miss when he had that opportunity.
Good play by Draper, wasn't it? Robert Finley with a perfect bounce in the middle. Here's Draper again. Knocked into the path of Parrish, couldn't make it work. McLean had a double go at it, back inside. Little one off, hands to Cleary. Cleary snap goal. They can do it with ease when they do it, Sydney. And that was a pretty good example of it. The old style jumper there, JP.
That is magnificent. They haven't got a lot of ball through their star midfielders yet, the Swans, but they get a centre break there, and there's a bit of a mung ball in there, and that's just a class finish from a young player around the corner. But Heaney's only had one. Parker hasn't touched it. Rowbottom hasn't touched it.
clean. There was no bottom stripped of it though. Parrish, Stringer at the back. A free kick that bounced through. It's a free kick against Jake.
Push them out and contest the ball. Come on, stand.
Gets it from Milliken short now to Cunningham. Really important player, Cunningham, in the back half. Encapsulates everything about the Bloods culture. Nice ball here for Logan McDonald. Running on Braden Campbell. Raking left foot. Amadi at the back. Doesn't quite get to him. Roberts was clean. And the Bombers exit. Although it's tough for Wiedemann. Jones gets it back to him. They've worked it out well to Roberts.
And good early in the game, Roberts. Three for him. My footy Stringer back. Waited for it. Fell into his hands in the end. Gets rid of a couple. The centering kick. It's danger, danger, danger here. Beautiful pickup running through the middle by Hayward. Can he make it work for McLean? Yes, he can. Here comes Cleary inside 50. Didn't quite finish. Dangerous kick by Jake Stringer under pressure.
Play on yours, handball.
Archie Roberts goes in the Jones direction. Blocked.
Yeah, good call. Good call. Didn't need to do that. You had a 2-on-1 there.
Just watching Will Hayward behind play, guys. He's got that right knee heavily strapped and he's not moving well at all.
Thanks, Abs. Parrish. High ball forward and Miller can handle it pretty well.
You can see he's hobbling. Had it strapped. Has he given it a bit of a tweak here?
Just landed straight on it. Yep. Bit of PCL style. Maybe he got kneed in the side as well.
Not very comfortable with Joe. The Bombers yet another inside 50 there. 14th of the quarter, if you don't mind. They are absolutely racking the opportunities up. Laverty. Mackay's got to go. Confronting him was Jordan. McGrath with the hands. Kept it alive. Well done by Perkins. Back into the side. The kick was under pressure. Langford looking for the free, and he's got one as well.
It beats there when you win the contested footy 31 to 17 in a quarter, then you're going to dominate territory, and that's what they're doing.
Langford.
Sydney got so many numbers, mate. Just have to go top of the goal square, trying to put on the contest.
That's exactly what he does. And trade. They have come to play Essendon.
It's all around the footy again for Sydney. Important that Essendon get a couple more goals on the board while they've got this dominance. This is an important shot just to get his confidence up with his goal kicking early. It's not a hard shot, just needs to convert.
7-6 this year from said shot. He's going around the corner.
Look at the setup, JB.
Big Sammy Draper.
Goodness me.
Has he got it in his quiver? Yes, he has.
That is a setup like no other.
It looks like a setup that he has been practicing a lot during the week. He looked confident in it.
It looks like a setup of a bloke who's unsure, Richard.
I liked it. I thought he was going to get a string line out of it.
I reckon he's been practicing that. He knew exactly what he was doing.
Been watching Stevie J too much.
Hodgie, come on.
Well, BT, we said at the start that all they wanted was a contest, but when you got a big man up there who is capable of taking a contested mark like that, and Richard, you mentioned
look at this, Hodgie.
He's clearly done it at training, but he did look a little bit unsure. But look, there's no hesitation when it went through straight over the goal umpire's head, and more importantly, that's their third goal. Great start for the Bombers.
Run a string line all the way through to the goals. Amazing setup there by the big man.
It's amazing how you get to the stage where you're kicking out like that at goal.
What a start for the Bombers. There's the big fella, Brian. And they're going to get another opportunity. Already 15 inside 50s. Martin looking for a bit of overlap running. Finally gets it in McGrath. Put him under a bit of pressure. McGrath belts the ball long. Here's Draper again. This time McCartan with an aggressive spoil. Stringer at the ground level. Centering ball. Perkins is underneath this. What can he do? It was well done by McDonald. Perkins recovers. Parrish is going to get a look. Over to Jones. Got around one. Had it ripped away. Not sure he still had it the second time. And they'll butter up for another opportunity.
Repeat entries here for Essendon. Mackay just hacks it in there. Campbell stripped of the footy. It comes out to Draper. Goulden. But it's coming back. Merritt. They have set up the wall.
Caddy in the goal square.
Long in that direction, and Caddy can't extend. Draper. Ball up.
We've got so many numbers back in the defensive 50. That's why Merritt was able to intercept 55 metres out.
Hayward there, eventually coming off. What an opening term this is. Just 3 goals, though, from the Bombers from all of their opportunities. And the Sydney Swans are under real pressure here at the moment. Out the back door is Wiedemann. Fast release to McGrath. Look at Redmond pushing all the way up. There's Perkins. The pink-booted Perkins. Redmond demanding the footy. Wanted to take a few more metres. Jones is going to do it, and he does. Although Florent followed him. No mark paid. Redmond, the mop-up. Runs to 50. Tough shot at goal. Doesn't try for it. Centering ball. Stringer. Martin can gather before the boundary line. Fires the handball to Durham. Lloyd's got him.
Here's the Essendon. Double the contested possessions.
Nick, Brody.
Clearances.
Watch out, clear.
Just need to hit the scoreboard. Had the ball down there. 19 inside 50s to 7.
Grundy clean possession, then dispossessed. Durham with the one arm. Lucky probably to get away with it. Rowbottom went to ground. Hobbs gone.
Holding the ball, Sydney.
They are defending grimly, the Swans.
You can hear the Essendon supporters. This is what they want to see week in, week out from their team. Can't fault this attitude.
Can Blakey give them some dash off half-back? He will not die wondering. Good kick for Logan McDonald.
Laverty is back, so he's got nothing really to go to. McDonald, he's going to have to wait.
Mills drifts forward. Nice kick.
Donald's readjusting.
Mine.
It works. Errol Goulden.
Play on!
Into the pocket with a beautiful ball.
Gee, that's a smart kick. He made that decision on the run there. He got called to play on. He didn't panic. And good representation.
Braden Campbell. Yep, left footer is going to take everything he's got. Certainly from a drop punt point of view. He's going to go with the outside of the boot. He is very good by foot, Braden Campbell. So against the flow,
that's the problem, isn't it?
Get their second.
The scoreboard, a goal, the difference. If you didn't look at the score and just looked at all the numbers on the stat sheet, you'd think Essendon were 5 or 6 goals up. Been a bit of an issue for the Bombers all year. Their inside 50 numbers are high. It's just being able to convert enough goals when they go in.
These are the small little areas from Essendon that let himself down. There's no talk, there's no communication. Runs past 3 blokes, no handovers. Just this one, they have all this hard work to get the ball down their end, and then City come back and put it through a goal like that. How do you have?
Yeah, guys, Will Hayward has just come back on the ground. He still looked very proppy as he ran on, but he had a deep conversation with the doctor and the physio, and it seems he's good to go.
Beautifully manufactured kick from Campbell. Gordon was the guy that got it to him. Shield. Caldwell. Chipping ball very wide. Caddy. Wants to wheel and go. Not his best kick into Draper. You've got to give him a chance in the air. Melican will be on welcome return. Shoveled it out the back, high tackle.
Sydney got a few through the middle.
When Sydney have got the ball in the back end, they seem to be waiting for something. What is it they're trying to find by going sideways and casually?
You can see they're the Essendon zone, so what they want to try and hold on to and see if there's any gaps that open up so they can probe. Who's their good ball users? A gap like that, which then it just opens up the play to go either straight lines or open to the fat side, keep it going.
And you wait for some sort of opportunity, and who knows what the opportunity will be. On this occasion, it's a 50.
Yeah. Because all it takes is one bloke in the zone not to do their role, BT, and that little gap opens up, just like a kick like that. The kicks have to be perfect, but opens the field up, it puts the opposition under pressure, and as we saw then, it gives away a 50-metre penalty.
Patience is the key.
It's patience, and then just let the game unfold. But it's important not to force the issue. Don't try and make kicks when they're not there.
Here is McDonald. Good look. To draw them level, unbelievably, when you consider inside 50s are 20-9. And that's off left in favour of the Bombers.
Predictably long and wide. Good mark, McCartan. Time enough here for the Swans. High ball in. And they'll get a stoppage inside forward 50 with 14 seconds left.
Squeeze up, Robbie.
Mini Goulden on the fly here. So dangerous. There is Goulden. Got a magnificent block. The kick across the face. Still danger here for the Swans. Rowbottom went to ground. And the siren sounds. Tough first term. It's the Bombers by 5 points.
All right, folks, it's quarter time here at Marvel Stadium. And it's the Bombers by 5. It's the Bombers by 5. Hey, Ryan, how you going, Squire? What's happening? What's happening? Ryan Avery, Rogue One. G'day, Mike. And Els, how you going, champ? What's going on? Had a nice walk there today, I see. Good stuff, good stuff. Tell you what, folks, 3-1-19, Essendon leading the Sydney Swans 2-2-14. Say this, Essendon were, they were in full control of that first quarter. They had all the play. If we just have a look, let's just reload this up. We'll just have a quick look first at the players' possessions. Who's the leading disposal getter on the ground? That's Dylan Shield there, of course, for the Bombers. With 9 touches, 5 kicks, 4 handballs, 1 mark. Andrew McGrath and Caldwell both on 8. Archie Roberts, Parrish, Laverde, Blakey all on 7. And the rest down on 6. Goulden, just a quietish type first quarter with 6. Taylor Adams with 6, not doing too bad there. Nick Martin, 5 disposals, hasn't done too bad, has he? 2 kicks, 2 goals, 3 handballs, 1 mark. There we go. Let's just roll down here. We'll have a look at the team stats in just a moment, and you will see Essendon should be well and truly in front on all of the team stats. As I said, they've been in full control. They've had plenty of inside 50s. I think the commentators were saying about 20-10 in their favour. There are your stats for your players. Let me just roll back up and we'll have a look at the goal scorers. So who scored the goals for the first quarter? And that was Nick Martin with 2 goals. The only multiple goal scorer on the ground so far for the Bombers. Sam Draper is the other single goal scorer for the Bombers. Cleary and Campbell both got 1 each for the Swans. Let's just have a quick look at the team stats here. There we go. It's the Bombers by about 30 in the disposal count. It'll be interesting there. There's only 5 kicks of difference. They've been handballing a lot more, getting a lot more of that run. 20-10 inside 50. So the Bombers have definitely had their chances for only 4 scoring shots, whereas the Sydney Swans only inside forward 50 10 times. They did lower the eyes pretty much once, and they found that mark there, which resulted in the goal there for the Swans. Disposal efficiency, not too bad so far. Have a look at the disposal efficiency inside 50, 20% for the Bombers. They need to lift there if they want to have a chance in the match. They're getting plenty of inside 50s, as I said, 20 inside 50s just for 4 scoring shots. The Swans' defence holding up super strong. They're doing a fantastic job, the Swans' defence. Free kicks, 5-3, nothing much going on there. Of course, the match hit-outs, Brodie Grundy winning that for Sydney, 10-5. Clearances, Bombers on top there. Dylan Shield doing well out of the centre. Centre clearances, 5-1. Bombers well and truly on top. Stoppages, 6-5. Contested possessions, the Bombers have come out to play tonight. As I said, their season is on the line tonight. They need a victory or it's lights out for Essendon for the season. So both teams needing a win tonight. A few more of the stats. Sydney Swans, well, they're going a little bit slower. That's the thing I've noticed. Essendon are moving the ball pretty sharply, putting a bit of speed onto the ball. And Sydney just moving it a little bit slow. So there we go. So with all the dominance in the first quarter by the Bombers, I think the Sydney Swans will be very happy where they sit right at this present moment. And that's only 5 points behind. All right, folks, we're going to get back down to the ground. We're about a minute away from the bounce of the ball to the second quarter. We'll take you back down to the commentators on the ground.
Weren't ready for the contest. Plus 20 contested possessions to follow up 3 weeks ago.
Third biggest differential in a quarter for the year.
And that Sydney have 2 of them, the second and the third in the last month. So all credit to the Essendon Footy Club, though, to come out. Their midfield have been busy. They've gone inside a lot. Just haven't quite been able to get bang for buck in terms of scores for insides.
Yeah, well, that's a story right there, isn't it? So that's the only reason the Swans have been able to stay close, because from an inside 50 point of view, 10 times they went in, they scored on 4 occasions, they kicked 2. Essendon went in 20 times for the match and kicked the 3 goals, which, it's been an issue for them throughout the course of the season. But they're ticking every other box at the moment.
Yeah, well, 4 scoring shots each isn't representative of the way the game played, and Essendon had all the territory. Nick Martin out on that far wing kicked the 2 goals against his direct opponent for the most of that quarter was Ollie Florent, who took 3 marks in D50, a couple of times slid down and took those marks to support the back 6. But Martin's just done a heap of damage, whatever role he's played. High forward, into the midfield, or a high defender, finding enough of the ball. Tonight on a wing, he just seems to find a way to inflict damage.
He called them plain as a Murray biscuit last week until the big guns got going. They're playing again, the Swans. Heaney just the 1 possession. Rowbottom just the 1 possession. Parker yet to touch the footy. So they're the ones who given them a bit of spike. And the other thing is Corbell's done a great job on it. He kept it into 1. Conversely, Jordan's gone to Zach Merritt, and Merritt's had 5 touches. So he hasn't got off the chain yet either. But it has been Martin and the rest of them through the middle of the ground have been able to give him the best look.
Well, the conversation at quarter time for the Swans would have been pretty similar the last 3 or 4 weeks. Come on, boys, we've got to get to work. Let's get our hands dirty.
For sure. Very disturbing trend there from a contested possession point of view for the second time in 3 weeks. Been absolutely dominated. We'll see you at halftime.
After a dominant territory battle in the first term, so we're underway in the second. Through comes Parker, quiet. So far tonight, Parrish working back into his best form. High ball forward. Stringer dangerous here. Melican, handball to green grass, set Lloyd a task. Martin's already got a couple. They'll go back inside here, the Bombers, and it's not going to work. Any kick might have been touched. He'll get it back, Isaac. He walks into Martin and then handballs it out of play. And that's delivered.
Curtis De Boer right on top of that one.
That was his second and third disposal, Isaac Haney. Getting spanked out of the middle. 6-1. Started off this quarter badly. Again, the Swans. It's meaning they're starting everything from back here.
Langford just to find that little gap in there. Caldwell couldn't quite reel it in. Probably should have in the end. Goulden just flushing it out of the immediate danger zone. Mackay wrapping up Amadi. Wiedemann back into the side for the Bombers. This kick needs to be good. Now the pressure right on Laverty. Here they come. Haywood was right there. McGrath saves the day. Redmond. And they get out of trouble. Here's Jones.
Not sure where to go with it, Jones. So a long one. Stringer, goal side is ridiculously dangerous. And he gets an arm in there too. Well done.
So that ball movement from Jones and McGrath worked for him. Should have given him the overlap handball just to get things going. Instead, he was stagnant, just went long down the line. Reward the runners when they work for you.
Ryan and Grundy. Jordan. Nicely manufactured to Blakey. Just a little too much heat on it for Parker. Big ball to win the centre of the ground, and the Bombers win it. Redmond has to shovel it back to McGrath.
Good control from Redmond. He could have blasted away and he would have handed the ball straight back then. So he had to bail out of taking meterage. Caldwell. Overlap from Martin, been impressive as he always is. Here's Parrish. Taylor Adams standing the mark and stopping the kick into the middle. And the line he goes. Here's Draper again. Compete is what he had to do. Stringer off the front and centre. No doubt about that. Jake Stringer. Great positioning. 11 points the margin.
He's got the poacher's instinct. Jake Stringer, naturally born with it.
That's why they've put the big man down there. First of all, taking a big contested mark, but then the smarts of tapping it down to the four small crumbers there, Joe.
Yeah, Stringer, that's what he does so well. But his direct opponent there, Callum Mills, came off the most dangerous forward Essendon have in Stringer. If you don't impact in the air, you get burnt, and that's what happened.
Grundy, floating ball forward. Parker.
Play untouched.
Jordan. Held in. Parker goes back after it hard at ground level. Logan McDonald. And Mackay back there on his own.
But that all the Essendon small forwards know now that if the ball is going to get kicked over their head, they're going to get reward. If they run back and get front and square, the Draper's going to put a contest in to give them a chance to get a touch and kick a goal, as we just saw there from Stringer.
Kelly. Grundy in front. Cunningham at the back. To Blakey. Adams, untidy handball. Mills has got to make this work. Grundy. Ground ball inside 50. Amadi coming at it. Cleary got a hand in, but that's a trip.
Laverty.
They escape trouble again here, the Bombers, so they are living dangerously down there. Clear trip. Accidental probably, but nevertheless a trip. And Redmond. Barely the required tuning. McGrath. Trying to draw the 50. Patient build up here for the Bombers, but they end up having to kick it to a contest. Lovely tap on from Draper to Caddy. That is pure, sensational work from Draper. Gresham's kick doesn't finish it off. But Sam Draper, take a bow. Sensational stuff from the big man. He has started brilliantly.
Just excellent work. Those last two contests does not get a stat for him. It sets up the play. But that's another example of Essendon. Such great work up the field, but just finishing off their work in the forward 50.
Lloyd off the ground. Cleary did that beautifully. Marty got to use the wheels here. He's got a 1v2. He gets some support now, Marty. It came in the form of Parker, who couldn't finish.
We've got to do something about Laverde. The Sydney Swans, he's had 11 possessions, the most on the ground. Every time they go forward, he's the one that's in the way.
What are you suggesting?
Well, they've got to just try and nullify him and have a direct opponent just stand with him, not let him dictate like he is at the moment. They can't get through, and he's the reason at the moment.
Brian, this guy here is allowing Draper to do what he's doing at the forward end, and that is just simply competing like he did there. Mills got on the end of it this time. McCartan strong through the tackle. Rowbottom trying to knock it on to advantage. Nothing there. Didn't handle it well, Roberts. Merritt. The one here back again from Roberts. Jones linking handball to Parry. He's got Caldwell the runner. Decides to go the ball. Gresham's going to have to fly. And he does. And Harry Cunningham thought he was moved unfairly out of the way. It's a tough kick. Gresham plays on. Wants to go around the corner. It's bending. Not enough. He was a long way out.
So at the moment, it's Luke Parker that is on Laverde as the deepest forward.
Short to Mills.
Stay out. Wow.
Dropping the first quarter again in this game, Sydney. They've been horrible starters. When you consider that they are a game clear on top of the ladder. Hayward. Back to Lloyd. Had Heaney. Didn't want to go there. Now he's just got to kick it up the chimney. McDonald. And he's gone.
Holding the ball. Thank you. Stand. Out behind.
They have brought great intent to the start of this game, Essendon.
Play on.
They look to Draper again, and again he gives them a contest. Rampy. Just a double handle there from Mills. Roberts. Parrish comes away with it. Kenny! So exciting in the air.
Well, they're getting some one-on-ones in their forward half here. That scrub ball along the ground. Caddy just reads it well. Gets out the back of his opponent. And that's what I love about him. He can float across the front. He read that so well in the air. He timed that perfectly. Look where he marks it at the highest point. That means he reads the flight of the ball so well.
Excellent from Brian as well. Keep his opponent out of it.
Been great from the set shot. That's across the face.
But their forward structure's looking a lot more dangerous than Sydney's. The Essendon defence is just really set up well.
7 contested marks already for the Bombers. They're averaging 9 for the game. 7, we're not anywhere near half-time. Is a pretty good result. There's Matt Roberts of Sydney. Off hands Caldwell. Low ball Langford. Has he got the journey? Would love Blakey to come back a metre or two, and the umpire brings him back half a metre.
Stand, please.
And this will test him. Langford a little uncertain, is looking for a 50 kick and a run from behind, and there was none.
So we've got Grundy in the goal square. Brian's still at the 50-metre mark, trying to run in.
Going to get there late, not going to get there in time. Langford pops it there. Now Brian's got to go, and like he was out of a bit of puff there. Lloyd out the back door. Grundy a helper. Mills likewise. Florent handled the ball wonderfully well. The low level. Hayward here, brilliant body movement on Redmond.
Nothing to quick release to, though, for Will Hayward. He's got to go back and across. They've had to do a lot of this, which would suggest the Bombers have set the ground up pretty well.
very well, JB, by the looks.
Rampy now can't go either. Eventually it's a long one to the back of Parker and Laverty. In comes Logan McDonald. And he is again claimed holding the ball.
Haven't laid a tackle this quarter, Sydney.
McGrath's away. Rampy.
Interesting, Hodgie. They just lost a little bit of patience with the setup and that you spoke of earlier, didn't they?
Yeah, that's the thing, BT. It's all about patience, picking the right time to do it and try not to force it.
Waiting for that gap to open up like this. Haywood, can he release?
Blakey's in the middle.
He sees him. Caldwell's got to go back.
High contact, Essendon.
Did really well. Blakey not happy with the kick, not having enough wheels on it. Here's Martin. So Sydney measuring up in this interesting and intriguing tactical battle here at the moment. That is not his best kick. Rampy. Just a little low ball to Lloyd. Mills. This time taking a bit of forward meterage. Campbell.
Heaney forward now, BT.
Goulden. Here he comes. Here he comes for a joke.
I was just going to say, he's only touched it 3 times. Doesn't look like getting it in the midfield at the moment, so he's swung forward, and that's why he's such a good player. He's a natural forward. He's reads the play well and timed that lead perfectly. Have a look at this here. He knows where the ball is coming, and no touch from McGrath.
Using his allotted 30 just to draw his breath and get set. Heaney perhaps against the flow ever so slightly. 50 metres out, that's a good-looking kick. He struck that perfectly. Back to a goal of difference. Just oozes class, this man.
All Australian as a forward. He's had an unbelievable season in the midfield, but has won one of the game's highest honours as a pretty much a stay-at-home forward, Isaac Heaney.
And this is the bonus about moving the ball and changing angles. What it does, it creates doubt in the defenders. The defenders likes the ball to be coming in a straight line. As soon as you switch it to the corridor, it opens up all those gaps. All the forwards are moving, creates holes. Great build-up from Sydney, great finish.
Necessary goal for the Swans. Draper again, brilliant. To Dylan Shield. Langford, outside of the boot. Just didn't get the bounce.
Dangerous. 22nd game for both of these sides here being played tonight. 23, of course, for the season. There's the overlap from Lloyd. Handball into McDonald. Back to Lloyd with a dodgy one. Lloyd's quick release was really good to McDonald. Now Parker. He does wheel and go. The back is Perkins. Nice grab. The 22nd game tonight, JB. Season these days lasting 25 weeks.
It is getting longer and longer, BT.
That's without finals, of course.
Yeah. Now, there's talk of a wild card game. They're trying to extend it out even further.
Yeah.
The trick bag of Sam Draper has been full. He's involved again here. Kicking goals, tap-ons, providing front and centres. Exciting player when he's on, and he certainly is on tonight. Heaney, Lloyd, Rowbottom claimed. Hobbs on the up. Redmond. Jones, ground level. Spins the handball forward, but there's no one there. Florent. A high one. Shield. Good control.
Yeah, it was well led by Dylan Shield, wasn't it? He was the only ground level player there. Here he is, little chipping ball. Scored well. Easily regaining control of the footy back as we get into the 16-minute mark of this second quarter. Length of the target. Blakey made it difficult for him, and they'll get a stoppage deep inside their 50, Hodgie.
This is just about the importance of lowering your vision going inside 450. If you put it into that spot there, you've got 3 Sydney blokes. Instead, you blaze it away to the Sydney guys that are dropping off. So lower your vision, put it in favour of your forwards. They could be said for the Essendon end as well.
So we get a look at Draper and Grundy here again. Sam Draper almost to himself. In fact, it was. And the soccer just missed.
He makes things happen, doesn't he?
Yep.
Gets after it at ground level. You love ruckmen that do that. The soccer background. That first shot, Brian, that was the goalie background in him. Yep, soccer goalie.
Certainly didn't look like a striker.
Definitely the goalie.
But his intent is great, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
He's just such a competitor.
Well, he's been involved in basically all of their goals. He's had some impact on them.
Sam Draper. Here he is out the back. Look at this. Roving and having a shot at goal from a long, long way out. Langford trying to keep it alive over Mills and Pluckett. And so another boundary throw in. So 6 minutes remaining in the half.
Brody, Sam.
Grundy can't let him do that again here, BT. He'll want to try and do that, I think. Grab it out of the ruck.
The thing about Sydney is they're right on their heels, though. Just 8 points for all the dominance that the Bombers are having here. Although the inside 50s count has slowed down a little, become a little more even in this quarter. Lloyd out wide, and now Mackay. Wrong-footed, nice smother off the boot.
Brody and Sam.
Big boundary throwing. Neither ruckman got anywhere near it. Caldwell. Very tough man to get around James Rowbottom. I reckon if you pause this game and ask Brad Scott what he thought, he'd say it pretty much sums up our season. We do a hell of a lot right, but we can't make it impact where it matters the most. Hobbs. Caldwell and Durham. Little lull in proceedings.
Little stalemate here at the moment. Rowbottom, just his second touch of the game, deep into the second quarter. Mackay and Hayward go at it. Turned it back inside to Jordan. Vic can release and he can. Hayward's talented, we know that. Can he sneak it through Campbell? Almost get the free there, no. Picked off here by Roberts, who's been impressive in this game. Play on, he hasn't heard the call. Shield. Mackay down the line. High footy, Jones. Hit him on the back of the head. Heaney. McLean absorbing the punishment. Blakey keeps it alive. Sydney are coming back for another go. Lloyd's ball inside 50. Directed. Perkins, McGrath and Kelly. Who wants it? Kelly was a little slow. I reckon he's got him. I reckon they've taken it a little easy there, the Bombers.
Thank you. Yeah.
Three of them, and neither of them knew which one was going to go and get it.
Just the intensity and the pressure from Campbell. Work rate to get in there. Great pressure, great tackle.
So what's he doing here? Is a left foot up? So is he kicking the drop punt, or is he going to run around?
Banana off the left.
Okay, Banana off the left. Here it goes. Not as good as his first quarter one. There's a bit of a giggle.
Maybe you should have tried the Draper snap around the corner.
Yes.
On his right.
Redmond wanting to explore. Interesting kick. Yeah, makes it work. It's going to come back.
We're going to come back over, Mark. Thank you. Come back.
Horrible ball for Roberts. They find a way to make it work, the Bombers. Merritt.
Stay! Play on!
Possession number 8 for him. And it's a good one. Superb kick finds Hobbs.
Standing. Play on!
Hobbs to the hot spot. Draper with a big fist. Blakey, the two hands. Gresham. Martin's already got a couple. Spins around to Merritt. Quick release kick missing.
He's clever, Merritt. He got that on the boot so quickly. Ultimately, it wasn't a great kick, but good effort. Yeah, just another ground ball, though, in forward 50. Big difference in the game. Essendon are being able to win ground balls in their forward half. Sydney, non-existent when it hits the ground. It's coming straight back out. They can't give their defence any respite because they just can't lock it in there down there.
This is the dangerous thing for Essendon, though, is they're doubled inside 50s, 34-17, but only 7 points up.
7 points the difference.
Yeah. That's the thing, is we know Sydney have a stable defence, but at some stage, as we saw last week, they're going to get a run on, they're going to get some inside 50s, and they're going to score.
Multiple goals in a short time. Here is Dylan Shield. Hug the boundary line. Shield opens that up just a little more. Beautiful kick on the top of the square. Draper, the competitor again. Out the back door was Roberts of Sydney. He high balls once. Got the numbers around this, the Bombers. Kelly. Redmond there as well. Shield waiting for it to come out. McDonald and Rowbottom share it. Lloyd. Rampy on his favoured left side. Pass to Marty. Campbell, I think it was. Ball half forward now for Sydney. Johnny Longmire. Well, he wouldn't be absolutely pleased. He'd know they're well within striking distance.
Two big men there. Dean Cox and John Longmire. Campbell down, Goulden with brilliance. Well done, McDonald. Just to break that up in the air. Logan McDonald goes and gets it. Through the hands of Kelly. Rowbottom, head over it as always.
At least they got a stoppage here. That's something. Let their defence set behind the footy. Give them a bit of rest. They've been defending for so long.
Wiedemann's got to be stronger than that. You push a man underneath the contest and take that mark.
Rowbottom. Into the pocket. They'll get another stoppage. Deep in their forward 50 here, the Swans.
Shows you how important Papley is. They need him back for finals. This is where he makes things happen. Yeah, Warner and Papley.
A couple of their most dangerous. Redmond. Florent got in there and it's out.
Papley's the one that causes chaos around these situations. Gets on the move at pace. Makes things happen.
Essendon this quarter, 1-4. The Swans 1-2.
Out of the guys at the front of the stoppage, it's probably going to be Goulden get on the move. Adams is there, he'll probably put a block on. There's no movement.
Almost being held then, Goulden.
Boys up! Boys up!
Roberts missed the ball. McCart. Handball. Out the back door, has to go back and get his own ball. Boundary line he'd be happy with. Disguised that pretty well. Tom McCart knew he was in trouble. Withdrew from the race when he knew that. 2 minutes remaining in the half here.
Don't roll!
Umpire's talking to Jordan. On Merritt, got his arms around him.
So that was the don't hold you heard. Brian, deliberate little tap down, Merritt, fast hand, Shield, really good. Gee, Durham to Perkins, Perkins, horrible kick, might work. Wiedemann got up and then a little bit of a fumble back to Martin. Kelly, Redman, hip and shoulder by Campbell. They still concentrate. Kelly goes forward with the kick. Stringer was under the footy a little. Parrish out the back. Cunningham does it well. High ball here on the head of Brian and McLean. McLean does well to bring it to ground. And here we go again.
Numbers here with the Bombers, so Marty getting that out of play will work for them.
Hey, Nick.
Eric. 36-18 inside 50, so double here for the Bombers. Just the 7-point lead. McCartan again, brilliant by Draper. Hobbs flicks the handball to Wiedemann. Martin's in trouble.
Oh,
And probably a bit lucky.
Handle.
great Draper again. Just the contest.
Sam.
Gee, that was a quick whistle. McDonald reeled the ball back in underneath. The umpire saved the day there.
He rolled over a little bit, which saved him, I think.
Yeah, Mills. Just under a minute remaining here. Marty.
Jump.
Higher Andre Fagner. Brian Cornwell. Parrish. One of the handball shield didn't get it. He was a little bit disappointed about that. Roberts. Down the line. So this game a real tactical battle at the moment. And Mackay gets it.
Arms around. That's it. Stand.
The Bomber fans would be delighted to be 7 points up here at half-time if that's the way the scores stay. At the same time, Sydney would know they are right in the hunt if they can just put 15 minutes of really super-duper Sydney football together. Playing the clock out here now, Sydney side's really well trained and drilled at doing this now. As long and as close to the boundary line as he can get it. Stringer out the back door. Time's going to run out for them though.
Welcome back to Friday Night Footy on Fox. It's brought to you by Industry Super Funds. When it comes to super, there's only one symbol to look for. This is the top of the table, Sydney Swans, 2 weeks out from a final series. You would be concerned because that was just pure and simply plain and ugly. 3 goals. They kicked in a half a footy in perfect conditions with a roof. Essendon kicked 4, mind you, but it should have had, or certainly had a lot more opportunity and should have kicked more. But that is of grave concern as we unpack this first half, gentlemen. 4 goals to 3, 2 weeks out. You're supposed to be playing your best footy at this time coming into a final series. They're a long way off that, the Swans.
Yeah, they are 37-18 inside 50 count. Amazing. So obviously the Bombers couldn't quite capitalise, but they had a different look to last week's last quarter against Gold Coast. They had a little bit more strategy to it, Geordie, but geez, they're flat as, aren't they, Sydney?
Essendon's midfield are smashing. You know, Shield, Caldwell, Parrish. I mean, and that's without putting Merritt and Durham in there. Martin on the wing, just absolutely annihilating a Sydney midfield that we've spoken about, that have got such great talent. You know, the only person that's out of there that we've seen across the year is Chad Warner. So it's not as if that they've lost a whole heap through the midfield.
Flat, lethargic, inability to pressure Essendon. I know we're talking about Sydney a lot here, and the Bombers have just got to win to keep their season alive. We'll celebrate them, but between the arcs, the contested number was scary.
Yeah, I mean, they've absolutely been smashed in this particular area. That you're right, they're second to the ball. When they get the ball, they're not strong enough to hold on to it. They look like they don't want to break through and stand up in the tackle and dispose of the ball, and that's giving the Bombers second chances to then go back and clear the ball. So that, as Bucks has said, has been a key feature of the Essendon midfield. The other parts of their game are in good order, but they're just not maximising what they're getting for the ball.
Parker 3, Rowbottom 5, Heaney 5.
They're playing without those boys, Brownie. I keep telling you.
Yeah,
Johnny
no
Longmire didn't want to hear about it either.
No.
What about first possession going one way, clearance going the other?
Well, that's the thing. When Essendon get first possession, they find a way to get quick hands and then find it out. But when Sydney get first hands on the ball, then Essendon's pressure's been actually really good to be able to win it back. And that's why they've absolutely dominated the disposal count through the between the arcs and through the midfield and and they've actually also been able to win, far more contested ball as we've seen. So, it's not as if they're the names of the Sydney midfield, they're not mugs. Heaney, Goulden, we know, have always been good. Rowbottom is one of the best contested ball winners in the competition. Parker getting hassled out of it. Taylor Adams,
it's amazing what you're talking about, though. Every single one of those edits we just showed there was the Sydney Swans had first possession.
Which speaks to an Essendon side that were ready to come and put great pressure on the opposition. You're not... When you get a contested possession differential of double figures, that's a big number. But that comes from, you're going to win your own fair share, but if you hassle the opposition out of their opportunity to win theirs and then go and win it, that's when you're getting the big numbers that we're seeing tonight.
I love when you see the response from the playing group. What did Brad Scott say during the... We are crystal clear. We've got to go out and fight like our life depends on it.
If they could convert opportunities, their lives would be looking a hell of a lot better. Do they go in deeper as they go inside?
Yeah, I think the way that they went inside forward 50, especially in the first quarter and a half, was deep. So they're worried about the rebounds plays that they've got down there in Sydney. So you can just see here the way that they're set up. This is always going to go long one because it's a little bit safer in terms of if the ball turns over, clearly you're set up defensively behind the ball, so we can see they want to run and carry and break the lines through defence. So they've had multiple opportunities. This is an Essendon side who have gone deep more often than not. I think what you need to see in the second half is a little bit more lowering the eyes, maybe choose a few better options to give yourself a chance to score.
Zero, yes.
Well, that was a couple where Ollie Florent actually came off the fat side wing and took those marks in the first 10 minutes of the first quarter. But I think part of the beauty of go deep inside 50 is the mental load or lack thereof on the Essendon players, midfielders. They don't have to think so much about where they're going with their inside 50s, which gives them a real opportunity to pressure and hunt, knowing what they're doing once they get the ball in hand.
Sam Draper, been important?
Absolutely, he's been important there. He's been fantastic against Brody Grundy. Just want to smell a bit of blood in the water, Gary. We've spoken about a lot of talk about Brody Grundy this week. He had a fantastic start to the year, but he's under pressure now. His form's dropped off the last few weeks. Draper's been important, 6 disposals. He kicked the goal, been important in the contest, had the most scoring involvements on the ground. He's played that big presence, guys. So interesting.
Look at this, Brad. It's a bit garlic footy style in the corner.
But it worked.
It did. It did indeed.
They don't draw pictures, so he's been important.
A couple of really important tap-ons for the
So 6 touches, but maximum impact, isn't it? A couple of those little knock-ons.
No, it's really important. So he's playing like a big fella. He's got Nick Bryan there for support as well, so it goes both ends. Let's turn our attention to Sydney. So this is the top-of-the-ladder team who are limping towards the final series, and their inability to hit the scoreboard is becoming more and more of an issue. Their forward line's not dangerous. The 3 goals they've kicked tonight have come from a banana kick in the boundary to Campbell, the young kid Cleary running on with maybe a fortuitous bounce, and then they rip out the best midfielder in the comp and throw him forward in Isaac Heaney. That's the only way they could score tonight. This is the top of the ladder Sydney Swans. That is an issue for them going forward. And hey, they may have another 20 minutes where they rip this out from the fire, but it is a problem for them going forward. No question.
Yeah, the signs are there. We spoke about it pre-game in terms of points for the last month and points again. So that is a clear thing. And you're right, the sloppiness in which they've been able to tackle and allow the Essendon players to get through, and 172 is just not going to get it done.
Well, we saw that who wins and why, 180 being the mark that Sydney need to get above for pressure on their opposition to win 11 of those 12 games.
230 last week.
And they've lost 5 of the games of the 9 that they've had under that marker. That's where we are now. So yes, they may pull out the 20 minutes, but it's not great form going into the back half. The finals.
You know. That ain't winning your finals, that sort of stuff. Let's go to the ground where Brad Johnson is with Eddie Betts. Boys, what have you seen from a matchup point of view?
Well, sloppy is one way of putting it, Gary. There's no urgency out here from the Sydney Swans whatsoever, and it's probably evident in a couple of the key matchups that we've been watching. James Jordan on Zach Merritt is the first one. Now, Zach's had 10 disposals, but he looks like he's going to break this apart in the second half. James Jordan's been okay, but there's no team support. He's one out on Zach Merritt, so therefore they've got to identify that at half time. And then the other key matchup as well is Caldwell and Heaney.
Yeah, it is. And, obviously Heaney's one of the superstars of the competition, but Caldwell's running over the top of him at the moment. 16 disposals. And when Sydney has the offence, Caldwell's going straight to him, locating him. And on the opposite, when Essendon's offence, Sydney's gone into that zone and Isaac Heaney's dangerous covering dangerous space, and Caldwell just getting to the next contest, and that's where he's losing him. Absolutely killing him that way.
Yeah, they are. So the next couple of key matchups to watch. Archie Roberts is having a great game for Essendon. They've got one there, Gaz, and you know you're going well as a team when you go off at half-time and the crowd gives you a standing ovation, which Essendon got at half-time.
Yeah, good on you, boys. Appreciate that. We'll be back throughout the course of the night. At the end of the day, though, it is still only a 7-point margin, so they are close enough. We'll take a break, get the very latest from Sportsbet.
Big game at MCG between the Pies and the Lions. And now the Magpies have been easy to play against for most of the season through the midfield. They concede disposals. They rank 17th to midfielders, but worse than that, they rank 18th to general forwards. So the general forwards come up, get a fair bit of the ball. So that brings Lachie Neale into play. The two crosses there, the 2 games he has been tagged. So 30 plus with the Pies not tagging. And forward of the ball, I feel like Cam Rayner. 3 of his last 4, he's had 20 plus, missed out last week. So I feel like Cam Rayner and Lachie Neale, the 2 to watch. Enjoy the footy.
Imagine what you could be buying in.
All right, there we go. I'll put it back to the commentators when they come back and have a little bit more of a chat about the match. But it's the Bombers by 7, 4-5. 29 to the Swans 3-4, 22. But man, just want to welcome in. Thanks, Sniper, for hanging in there. Oliver. Welcome in. Paul, how you going, Squire? And of course, Eyes Baby, welcome in. Welcome into all the stars in the chat tonight. I tell you what, it's a slow scoring match, Paul. Essendon, you know what? I don't know how Essendon aren't. They should be like 6 goals ahead in this game. But the Swans' defence, that's the only thing that's holding Sydney in this game, as they said. You know, they had 1 banana kick, 1 lucky goal, and of course, Isaac Heaney, I think they said, got a goal there, and that's it. Sydney just aren't chasing. It's like it doesn't matter this game to them, nor does top spot to them. So that's how it looks. And as they said, if they take this form into the finals, they have no chance against the top sides. So I would expect Sydney at some stage to lift their form. As we keep saying, that's what we've been looking for in the last half a dozen weeks, like they did in the last quarter last week against the Pies. But that is the type of footy they need to be playing from go to. It may have peaked too early. You know what? They just may have. And as you've seen, I think Isaac Heaney had only had the 5 touches. I mean, he's their gun. He's their number 1 player with 5 touches. That is not good enough. He needs to get in there and start attacking. They all need to start attacking and put a little bit more speed on the ball. This slow play, the Bombers are getting back in defence and just, wow. It's just not getting through there. But they may have peaked already. Chad Warner, one of their superstars, he's out of Sydney tonight. But, you know, that being said, you just can't put this down to just one player being out. Let's just have a look at some of the stats at the moment. Dylan Shields having a good game there for the Bombers on 20. The Bombers got a standing ovation going off. Their supporters are very, very happy with the way they're gone. Tell you what, they've done pretty well, the Bombers. They should be very well pleased with them. Can they finish this game off? We'll soon see. Caldwell there was 16. Nick Blakey, best for the Swans, the backman, was 16. Well, you wouldn't really normally see him with the leading disposal get up for Sydney Swans, but there you go. Darcy Parish with 15 there. Jakey Lloyd with 15. Callum Mills, 14. Andy McGrath's having a pretty good game there for the Bombers with 14 touches, 9 kicks, 5 handballs, 6 marks. Nick Martin, not a bad second quarter. No added to his tally of score. Of course, he was the first goal scorer of the match. Zach Merritt there with 10 there for the Bombers. Errol Goulden, here's another guy he needs to lift his game. 10 possessions. He had a very poor game last week. Was well held, and he's getting well held again this evening. So he's one of their guns who needs to lift again for the Swans. I tell you what, they're going to have to bring out a monster second half to get up over the Bombers, who are out there to win. They've got to play like it's their last game they're going to play. And indeed, if they don't win this game, they're out for the season. Brodie Grundy, he's having a little bit of a slow game. He's had 6 touches. He's only had 2 kicks, 4 handballs. He's had a couple of tackles. He's had 13 hit-outs. He's doing reasonably good, but still, that being said, he needs to get into the game a little bit. The big man, use his mobility as a ruckman to run around the ground a little bit more. So that is the stats. Nothing much happening in the stats there at the moment. Some of the big names, the big guns, having a very quiet game for the Swans. A couple of the good players there. For the Bombers, they're having a good game. Nick Martin's the only multiple goal scorer on the ground for the Bombers. He's got 2. Jakey, the package stringer, he's got 1 for the Bombers. Sam Draper also with 1. And for the Sydney Swans, Isaac Heaney, Cleary and Campbell are the other single goal scorers there for the Swans. Dylan Shield leads the table in the fantasy points. If you play that game, was 63. Darcy Parish on 61 with Nick Martin. Jakey Lloyd on 58. Caldwell 57. Archie Roberts 56. And the rest, well, they're under that. Let's have a look at some of the team stats before I take you back down to the boys, who are going to give a little bit more follow-up on the first half, just in case anyone's interested in the stats. There we go, as the Bombers, around about 40 in the disposal, 16 kicks up, 22 handballs up, inside 50s, Bombers going 2-1 of Sydney, crunching it 36 times inside their forward 50 for only 9 scoring shots. That is, well, let's just say that could be down to the good defence of Sydney. But saying that, Sydney have also gone inside 18 times for only 7 scoring shots. So both defences going not too bad, but you would expect a little bit more. As you can see, the inside 50 efficiency, 27.8 for the Bombers. That needs to lift. Free kicks, well, the Bombers well on top in that department, 12-4. Hit-outs, pretty even, 17-14 to the Bombers. Grady in front in the hit-outs. Clearances, Bombers just in front by 4. Centre clearances, the Bombers still well and truly on top, 7-2 in that department. Contested possessions, Bombers, it's a little bit more harder around the ball tonight. They've got the passion, they've got the drive, they've got the will to win, unlike Sydney up until half-time. Uncontested, Bombers getting that link up, 135. 106 turnovers, reasonably high tonight. Having a look at the marks, 56-52. Both teams getting enough of the ball there. Marks inside 50, 6-3. Essendon by 3 there. Sydney still well under their average by a couple. And contested marks, 8. A little bit better in the air is the Bombers with their marks. Tackles, Bombers again. I said all the numbers are going towards the Bombers here. As I said, you would think the Bombers would be up by 4 to 5 goals. But in fact, it's just 7 points at half-time. 6 tackles ahead are the Bombers. Tackles inside 50, 10-2. Bombers just about on season average already. They're doing very well in that department. 1%ers, 26-23. Let me scroll back up. We'll put it back on the summary. I want the summary, don't I? That's what I want. And if you can have a look at the little worm here, where we start off the match, of course, the only time Sydney were in front was when they scored the first behind of the game, and then Essendon kicked a goal. And it's sort of been goal for goal as the match has been trending on. Of course, no goals after the 13-minute mark of the second quarter. I expect a little bit something extra in the second quarter. I would think this game, you'd think it'd open up a little bit, folks. You'd think it'd open up a little bit. Let's hope it does. Al, horses need yell at this whole Sydney Swans men's team. He does. I don't know. He must. I tell you what, Horse must have given them a bit of a rev up last week. Tell you what, though. I tell you what, Al. From what I've seen tonight, if Sydney play this type of play in the finals, they will go out in straight sets. This is just not the Sydney that we have been used to seeing up until half to three-quarters of the way through the season. It's just like a different side. This really does look like maybe a side that's, sitting about 8th or 9th on the ladder, not on top. But I know we keep saying we're waiting for Sydney to fire up, get back into their old ways, but it's not just happening. And Heaney's got to get back into the game as well. He's only had about 5 touches. Just not enough from your best player out there. He needs to get into the game. And Sydney need to move the ball with a little bit of speed, a little bit of pace. Get the run going, get the wave going, get the connection going, get the handball going. Let's get that. I tell you what, I don't know. You probably should, because you're still a young fella there, Al. You probably should. I tell you what, it did look like this could have been their season. It's not too late. It's not too late. There's still 1.5 games to go until it's finals time. So they have got 6 quarters to find their rhythm again, pick their skill back up, and show everyone why they sit on top of the ladder. We have a look at the ladder at the moment. This is the live ladder, folks, the live ladder. So if the game ends the way it is with Essendon winning, Essendon will jump into 7th spot on 50 points, equal 6th with Fremantle. But if Essendon don't win, they're down here in 10th position. So that is the live ladder. That's the difference. Of course, Sydney Swans need to win tonight or next week to remain on top. We're about 30 seconds away from the bounce of the second half. I did say Sydney versus GWS Grand Final. Not sure how. I tell you what, you never know. You never know. The Giants are there. The Giants are sitting in 3rd. But the Giants are playing. You know who they're playing? They are playing Fremantle. They're playing Fremantle tomorrow. So that's going to be a really good game. I would expect the form that Fremantle are in, that Fremantle are, I should say the form that the Giants are in, that the Giants might actually take that one out. So you never know. You just never know. It could be Sydney Swans, GWS Giants, who finished 1-2 at the end of the season. That would be interesting, 2 Sydney teams right there. Let me have a little bit of a look. All right, folks, the players are back onto the ground. We're going to take you down for the start of the second half. I didn't say Sydney. Oh, that was you, Paul. Sorry, Paul. I read that as Al. Paul. Yeah, you could be right, Paul. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. All right, I'm going to take you back down to the ground as they bounce the ball for the second half.
Perfect bounce in the middle. What an amazing bounce.
Holding Sydney, Parker. Come back 2 metres, Jai.
Parker now as a result of that free. Immediately inside 50. Good start here for Sydney. Almost a Marty had hands on it. Out the back door went Roberts. McGrath under pressure. So Mills will mark it, but immediately play on. He was crunched before he even had it by Durham. Picked up by Florent. So this is the fast starting Sydney outfit in the second half. Campbell's got her off hands. Can he get rid of the tackler? Yes, he can to McDonald. Not 15. Play on, says the umpire. Kelly to remove it.
Great numbers back there for Essendon.
They've always got numbers back to release to at the moment. Essendon, they had 2 or 3 numbers, goal side. They're keeping their shape really well defensively.
Sydney made a change, put Luke Parker into the centre square, played predominantly forward in the first half.
Lakey should take an uncontested mark. It got through. Merritt crunched. Mills. Handball straight into Caddy. Back to Merritt. Forward to Durham. Beautifully released to Caldwell. Not a great ball, and the pickup was a leap from Heaney. Still, Essendon have got good representation. Caddy taken under it. Goes back and gets it outside of the boot. Draper back with the flight. Good fist, Lloyd. First score of the second half are behind.
We've got that good competitive force that they had in the first half here, the Bombers, by the looks. It's a beautiful kick to Florence. Immediately through here, row bottom. Needs to use it, put ball to Amati, drag him up the ground a little. Amati to McDonald on the lead. Gene McDonald had his man beaten then. Went wide.
Turned too early though, McDonald. Took the space available to him.
Lloyd launches a long, deep ball. Martin saves the day.
Yeah, he had a one-on-one inside 50, McDonald. He turned and came back at the footy, and he actually took the space that was available to him too early.
Roberts' kick only just working the Caldwell. In fact, he did well to make it work. Kelly. Grundy in front of Caddy. Bryan. Stringer. Durham. A little fumble. Now they can sizzle the Swans. Parker.
Settled everyone down. He's going to take responsibility here, Parker.
It's been a big part of this season outside the team, which is hard to believe when you've put the body of work together that Luke Parker has over many years. If it's there, it's there. Great set shot, Parker. Gets a kiss for his trouble from Will Hayward.
Not that excited about it though, JB. Not a lot of fuss, mate.
Well, this is where Laverna needs to be better than that. The ball's kicked out from Essendon. There's just too much space. As soon as that ball leaves your 50, you need to get closer to your player. Parker is an experienced player. He got the first clearance of the quarter and then goes back. It's a pretty important goal. Back to your point.
Player Curtis DuBois. Get us underway again. This is the start of the little mini charge here from Sydney. Heaney. Some nice athletic stuff in the middle. McDonald, the ball taken away. McGrath, handball straight into the legs. Wiedemann. McGrath again trying to paddle it out. Laverty under pressure. Mackay put Laverty under even more pressure. And Mackay apologises immediately.
7-2 with his centre bounces in the first half. Look, Sydney have won the first two. So a little turnaround there. Parker going in there. They needed to get off to a good start in the middle, and they have.
Big opportunity for Sydney to make it 3 in a row here.
Sydney free kick.
Huge opportunity now.
Taylor Adams. Boys clear it.
A little bit of chirper talk going on as well. Taylor Adams will get a look from 30 metres. Very comfortable range for him. Parker continuing to go on with the verbals.
Archie.
What that was all about from Mason Redmond.
He was just trying to push him off. Adams was going to go and put a block on. He just tried to got to it before him, but was just overly aggressive for he needed to be.
Huge mistake. 3 in a row on offer for Sydney. And they will take the lead if he kicks this. Taylor Adams. Oh, yuck. That is deplorable.
Another iffy handball from him. That one's a bit better. Floating ball here, and it's controlled nicely by McCartan. Having a nice start to this third term here, the Swans.
This is almost the first time tonight they've had some repeat entries, putting Essendon under pressure.
Goulden. Laverty. Diving, saving mark.
Gone to sleep a little, the Bombers. Like they've mogadoned up at half-time. Caught well. Stolen. Heaney. Across the ground. Here's Campbell. He's a booming, flushing left footer. And classy as well. Sydney in front. Sydney, all guns blazing, Bombers asleep here early in the second. Fantastic here from Isaac Heaney. He didn't rush things. Essendon had good shape. Look at their numbers back inside 50. He blazed in. Essendon intercepted. He didn't. He saw the beautiful kick. Campbell got it to him perfectly. Allowed him to keep running. He was into space perfectly. He was never going to miss that. He blazed away. Essendon would have intercepted. Great composure from Heaney.
First two to start this term. Red light flashing for Essendon. Kick inside 50. Broken up, but Mills at ground level did well. Campbell a long one. Logan McDonald did terrifically well on Wiedemann. Roberts always want Campbell kicking it, and that's why. Bullock hits Hayward.
2 metres back.
This is the first time tonight the Essendon defence has had to really defend hard. 8 inside 50s to 3, multiple entries. Sydney are making the most of it, hitting the scoreboard.
You look at that, Richo. Essendon, 5 points from 15 entries. This could be now Merritt's goals from the last 4 entries from Sydney.
Merritt's not happy there. He wanted a handover.
Isaac Heaney. What a massive possession game by his lofty standards. This is just his 9th, but if this goes through, it's his 2nd goal. He finds ways to impact this star of the game. This is starting to get worrying now for Essendon. 3 in a row to start the 3rd term for the Swans.
This is where Heaney's got so much space. Mason Redmond's got his bloke in Jordan. Parrish needs to come across. He's doing absolutely nothing there. Come across and fill that gap. It's too big of a gap for a bloke like Heaney, who's very quick off the mark. Redmond's he's got his focus on Jordan, but Heaney just burned off Merritt, and he's not happy with that.
Back to the middle we go. Look at that, 4 in a row, 3 in this quarter. Their game high lead of 11 points here. Heaney again with the clearance out of the middle to go with it. Bombers need to get bustling or they are going to be out of this game in no time.
This is the thing with Sydney. When they get some life, they can score in a hurry.
Grundy, all of a sudden a big win. Heaney again somehow makes contact with the boot. Martin to Parrish. Parrish a little bit of foot candy. Martin's got to hit the target here, Redmond. Mark paid.
Chitto, good hands, and they needed to be.
Let's come around, please.
Take some heat off their defence.
Andy McGrath.
They can't go anywhere. Sydney have shut down the switch. They've just lost 30 metres, and now Sydney can peg him into that pocket.
Murmurings around the crowd here at Marvel as well. Interesting kick. Closed down Caldwell. the Swans.
And that's the risk. If you're going to switch the ball, you need to make sure the bloke who you switch to can play on if there's a spare. Sydney had that covered perfectly.
Look at the Essendon fans sitting back in their seats, JB, and they're not sure. They're just not sure.
They're thinking we've seen this before.
Well, it's amazing when Heaney gets going, the whole side comes to light. 6 disposals for the quarter.
Ruckman miss it. They're at the push. Roberts of Sydney to Florent. Fast hands row bottom. Mills. Little chipper ball here from Adams. Drawing McLean to the footy. Mackay missed the handball target. Grundy. Look at them queuing up here. Florent. Little kick. But Caldwell's under enormous Heaney pressure. 4 of them there to help him out. Martin. But all they can really do is kick for touch. That's gone out of bounds in the full. And they have turned up the heat big time, Sydney.
Ollie Florent.
Heaney's down there again. Caldwell's having to play as a defender on him.
Into the middle. Roberts.
Fat side open too.
Florent again. Heaney's on. Just set the kick up too high. Going to be a free anyway.
He doesn't want to be there, Caldwell. He's played a terrific game, but probably need to hand over to a defender in this situation.
With me, mate. One more.
Because Heaney, can play forward as well as any midfielder.
Stand straight up and down.
That's why he's such a nightmare, Isaac Heaney. Such a tough matchup when he goes inside forward 50. For goal number 3. It's drifting.
What a player he is, Isaac Heaney. Setting the example early in this second half. Sydney by 12. Have the Bombers got something? Their fans are sitting and wondering and just shivering with hope at the moment. They're not sure. Draper, important.
At least now they can have a rest behind the footy. They've been under siege.
Comes Caddy, got out over the back, no one there. Roberts, Grundy, Parker caught in the Parrish tackle. Stringer gets rid of a couple. McGrath can go long with the boots. A good-looking kick over the top to Gresham. He caught plenty of pressure. And they'll get a stoppage in their 50 here, the Bombers, which is a good thing for them. Not sure whether that man's coming or going. But he's just got incredibly nervous.
I think he's coming down to give a bit of advice.
Yes, he is. Good on you, sir. Fire them up.
Draper been brilliant. Stringer! Something out of nothing. Misses.
Move out, move out, move out.
Now, it's Jake Lloyd, incredibly important moments ago with that late spoil. Off to Melican. Nicely presented to Campbell. Always wants to go fast. Kicks it into a pile of Bomber jumpers. Durham just got the kick away. Gresham. Up quickly to Langford. Perkins ran for him. Langford on the left. That's great. Harry Jones.
That was just smart from Langford. Didn't panic. He had a few different options. Was a bit unsure to start with. But then smartly turned back into the corridor. A lot of blokes there will probably go boundary because it's a bit safer. Summed it up well. Came in when he's not preferred. And most importantly, he hit that final kick going inside 50.
$17 goals on the season for Harrison Jones. His club need him to make that 18 right now. It's coming back. It's a goal. necessary.
To hang on there and play on quickly and set it up.
Yeah, he knew he had the number forward in Langford, so he didn't want to go back behind the mark. And because he did play on and because he did get that handball out, and then Langford showed some composure. Important that Jones converted because we know they've had their issues there. Heaney missed BT and they get that one back.
43 minutes between goals here. That's why the Bomber fans were getting restless. Merritt, they've got the clearance to go with it. The handball's been chopped off though. And here goes Sydney as they start to pile up and overlap through the middle. Goulden, they send him back on his non-preferred. Still, that's pretty good as well. Taylor Adams thought about Grundy. That's a beautiful kick to McDonald.
Importantly, it's got Laverde out of the 50, who's been really good tonight.
So McDonald.
Now Draper's back.
Long way out. It goes very wide, avoiding Draper, but plenty of Bombers around this. Nick Martin's kick's got to be spot on. Didn't help the back of that man there, and players not appreciating the McDonald effort.
It's a fine line. He was in the air. It's hard to pull out.
That's not 50. That's a strong contest. It was a really good mark. Ball set up a little bit. Every coach will be telling his player to try and spoil that.
Well, he didn't even really make any sort of high contact here.
Well, he hadn't landed when he went for it.
What's the 50 in that?
I don't get it.
Laverde? What are you saying, Hodge? It's either a free kick or nothing.
That's a mark. Yeah. It's a simple mark. That he wasn't late. He had a crack at the ball. Didn't get him high. Wasn't undisciplined.
Parrish. Caddy in from the side. Hobbs with a great set of hands. Merritt threads the needle note.
He caught it 2 minds then on whether a pass or go for goal, Richo. Looked like it, didn't it?
Yeah, he probably had a look at the top of the square to see if he had anyone. Unselfish player. Hodgie's shaking his head.
He thought nothing but goals in BT.
Okay.
Especially if you're getting tagged like that, you want to put one through.
Parker. Quick to get back into their forward end here, Sydney. Which is a long ball, big pack of players. McDonald's in amongst it, Grundy there, Laverde out the side. Too high. Marty hasn't had a great night. Laverde in the back end, Bombers down by 4.
They've arrested a bit of the Sydney momentum though, Essendon. They've done well to do it. Good kick, although not the mark that Durham was after. Isaac Heaney telling him he might have averted the gaze. I don't think that's in the playbook of Sam Durham.
This is only the 4th stoppage this quarter. The ball's been in general play, pinging around, not a lot of stoppage.
Jordan came through, got it back to him. Roberts. High forward.
Marty hasn't had a good night, but twice in the last couple of minutes he's just tied up Ben Mackay, so he hasn't been able to get in the way there, and he was really looking to wrap that up as an intercept, Mackay. And Marty just did enough to get him out of the way. You see him there looking at Mackay, and it just let Parker mark that ball. He's not having a good night, but that was important there.
For his second. The Swans' 4th of the term. It's home. second of this third term for Luke Parker.
This is Merritt and Jordan at the start at the front of the contest. Merritt just goes too hard. He's just going all or nothing. It's going to be nice if it comes off. He runs past the contest. Jordan's able to stay there and get the clearance. And we spoke about this. They did it last week. As soon as Sydney get a little bit of a run on, they've had the 14 inside 50s. They've kicked the 4 goals this quarter. Essendon just can't stop this momentum.
5 goals, 4 from beyond 40 here. Sydney out of their 7 goals. Here is Parker, so they're coming from a fair distance out. Dropped at Laverty. Rowbottom split the pack. There's Haywood. He tucks it and goes. Sydney are on fire. 16-point lead. It's a machine when it gets going. And it's starting to steam. Goals to 1 in the quarter.
Just completely turned it around in the centre bounce, the Sydney Swans. It was 7-2 Essendon's way at half-time. This quarter, 5-1 Sydney's way, putting Essendon under pressure. The first goal within 30 metres tonight, mind you, for Haywood. And it's been Parker. 2 goals and into the centre bounce. And had 2 centre bounce clearances.
So a game high lead now of 16 points. Florent got into the grill. Cleary. He's run on, Ollie Florent. Can have a ping. Listen to this. Superb. Created the turnover and then finished the job.
There's a turnover there, just got a hand in, and it's that man Heaney had the ball coming out of the centre clearance, and we've said this all along, as soon as City get this run on, they were always going to get a time where they had the momentum, Richo. As we saw last week, you give them time, you give them space, they're going to make you pay.
6 goals, 2 to 1 goal, 3 in this quarter. The Swans.
They made some changes that have just really worked at half-time, the Sydney coaching staff.
Extremely worked up and motivated as well. This is what we're used to seeing. Normally the kick gets away with great effect. He was run down this time though, Brian. Goulden, Parrish, look at them coming, Sydney. Rowbottom busts it up, gets a socket to Amadi. So many options, he doesn't know which one to pick.
Parker's on in the pocket.
Looking a little confused. Amadi just sends a very, very high ball in. McLean off hands Martin. Redmond with the release. And now Roberts of Essendon. This kick's got to be good. Draper's going to try and turn his man inside out. He can do most things. Look at the soccer skills. Waited for the help to arrive in Gresham. That was good play by the big fella. Caldwell's caught clean.
They're dialing up Sydney. Closing down any space. And their big name players again have delivered. Haywood, Roberts, clean pick up.
They're just a free kick. They just haven't had to start all their attack from their D50 in this quarter, Sydney.
Ben Hobbs, of course, wearing Jason Winderlick's old number 8. And we send Licker every bit of our love. What a terrific Essendon person.
They're trying to raise some money. They had a Legends game here tonight, JB, and raise some money for the family to get through this.
We hope that went well too. As Mills to Goulden. Inboard, Florence open again.
What a quarter he's put together. It was Warner and Heaney last week in the last, and in the third here it's Ollie and Isaac.
Out now.
Has he got this journey?
They've had 20 between them and 2 goals, those two, in this quarter.
Going to have to catch every bit of this.
I think he'll pop this up.
The eyes are darting around which aren't they? In the end, he's having a go. And it got there. It was just offline.
Out, please.
So all of a sudden, 2 minutes left in the quarter. Magnificent Sydney quarter of football.
Outside 5.
They're just so stagnant. There's no ball. There's no running off ball.
Cut away by Goulden here with a little spoil. Hayward looks like an outside runner. He missed his opportunity in clearing.
This was the last defensive 50 exit from Essendon. There's no one moving. Hobbs got the free kick. He's sitting back. He's looking for blokes to move around. They're all stagnant. They're all just trying to go long. In the first half, they were moving. They were creating. They're providing options.
Come to a bit of a standstill, the Bombers, big time. Towards the boundary, Sydney keep it alive. McLean, deliberate on the ground handball. Got here by Cleary, good smother. Paul Kelly sitting next to the president of Sydney, Andrew Pridden there. Simon Madden, one of the all-time great Bomber ruckmans, just pondering at the moment.
How good was Paul Kelly?
Yeah.
Caldwell, Roberts to Parrish. Draper. And a rampaging first half. Middle of the ground, Rowbottom. Beautiful pick up with the one hand, but is claimed by Jones. Through comes Langford. Just a matter of accuracy. He might have just been tackled as he released the kick.
Yeah, good late pressure, JB.
Now Paul Kelly had the best guns in the AFL.
Yeah, talking about great tackling. He was a good tackler, wasn't he?
Hard as. Must have lived on the bicep curls, Paul Kelly. Can you remember him, Chris?
They were good. They were good. He was a go-getter, Paul Kelly. What a great of Sydney he was. Speaking about greats, Zach Heaney here. McLean on the run. Looks inside, a little bit too much on it. Out the back door to Park and a fend off. Probably should have been a free kick. Definitely should have been a free, given the opportunity to fend off. Roberts released to Durham. Durham tracking right through the eye, did a little. High ball for a little man in Gresham. Used the body well. Look at this, take them out. Florence almost run down. He was able to shake and bait the Stringer. And Stringer marks.
That is big.
Last gasp effort here from the Bombers. It's a 22-point lead, which can become 16, but it must be a goal. They must draw some belief and reward out of this. Jake Stringer. There's the target. Bomber fans are tense. It's been a 6-goal to 1 quarter. Look, they're not sure whether to run in and congratulate or commiserate. 21-point Sydney lead here at 3/4 time.
Well, Jakey Stringer just let Sydney off. Should have slotted that goal through. Jake Stringer for the Bombers there. It was only about 20 metres straight out in front, and it's faded right of the goalpost through for a single. But it's Sydney 9-7-61, leading the Bombers 5-10-40. Sydney looking much better in the third quarter. They brought a little bit of desperation, a little bit of heat. They brought the pressure to the Bombers. They got their game going a little bit. And of course, even though they kicked 6 goals, 3 in that quarter, the Swans to the Bombers, 1 goal, 5. Accuracy certainly cost the Bombers there. And of course, it could have been just the pressure the Swans put on, but the Bombers made a few errors in that quarter, which allowed Sydney to get a couple of goals, which probably could have been prevented had the Bombers done the right thing. But still, folks, this game's not over yet. It's 21-point margin, and as we know, anything can happen in footy, especially the last quarter. Will the Bombers come out with a run in the final quarter, or will Sydney hold on? Here we go. Let's just have a look now at the leading disposal getter, see where they're standing. Jade Cadwell from the Bombers, 24 possessions. Andy McGrath on 23, they're leading the way. Dylan Shield, quiet third quarter there on 21. He only had about the 1 disposal in that third quarter. Archie Roberts, 21. Parrish, 21. All Essendon players, 21. But still just not getting the job done. Callum Mills, there we go, 20 for Sydney. Florent, 20. 18 for Blakey, who was leading the Swans at half-time. Good to see a few of the other players getting in, and amongst them, of course, Isaac Heaney. He had 12 possessions in that third quarter, set the Swans alight. Monster quarter from him. Up to 17 now, 2 goals, 1. So that's more like what the Swans need. 10 kicks, 7 handballs, 5 marks, 2 tackles. Well done. Gordon, another good quarter there. I think he had about 7 possessions in that quarter. He still needs to lift a little bit more, being one of their gun players there for Sydney. Will Hayward, not having too bad of a game there for Sydney, also on 14. Ben Mackay with 15. Zachy Merritt slowing down on 15 possessions at the moment. Luke Parker, just the 12 touches, just doing his job there tonight when the Swans need him. He's had the 12 touches, 7 kicks, 5 handballs, 5 marks. He's kicked 2 goals, 1. Completing his job, but we know there's still more to come from Luke Parker. So there we go down there. Draper, a little bit of a slow third quarter there, just with the 10 disposals, as with Brodie Grundy. The big men didn't really get into it as much in that third quarter, maybe the final quarter. They might come into it, and the subs might be subbed, get a few fresh legs on the ground for both sides. Let's just have a quick look at the goal scorers. I'll take this back up. And the goal scorers, leading goal scorers, we've got 4 players, each with 2 goals. Luke Parker, Isaac Heaney, Braden Campbell for the Swans, and of course Nick Martin still with his 2 goals there for the Bombers. Jake Stringer, Jones, Hayward, Florent, Draper, Cleary, all with singles. Of course, the AFL fantasy points, well, they're not scoring too high tonight. Andy McGrath on 88, tops the table. Parrish, 83. Roberts, Martin, Florent, and Caldwell all on 82 apiece. There we go. Let's get back to here, because we've only got about a minute to go until the bounce of the final quarter here at Marvel Stadium, where it's the Swans by 21. Can they do it? Can they do it for Al and for Addy G? They both want the Swans to cheering on tonight. As I said, you don't know. I still think the Swans might take this one out. They're a good bet, I think, tonight. They're about a 172. So a pretty good value against the Bombers, which are about 230, I think, or 220, somewhere like that. I'll tell you what, it's a great game, footy. It's a great game. All right, we're going to get back down to the commentators. We're under a minute before the bounce of the final quarter. Can the Swans hang on, or can the Bombers find a way to victory?
Aspects of their game, but they've got to be more consistent. I feel like it's been going for more than 5 or 6 weeks, though. This has been going for at least half the season where they've been inconsistent within games.
Well, the disappointing thing is this Essendon side could be the biggest bunch of panic merchants in the AFL.
Oh,
and that's when the pressure didn't come early in the game. They got comfortable. As soon as it was dialed up in the first minute of the game, even Caldwell, Mackay, Laverde, McGrath even, they got nervous, Brownie, and it's not going to be good watching.
We're going to call the fire brigade, Gary. The lab's about to blow up. The boys are in there at the moment. Just there's that many edits
drop
and
marks,
examples of the panic
fumbles.
merchants. You're going to show them, guys. You're going to fire them up post-game.
So that's what Essendon fans get so disappointed about. You know, they're in the contest and then all of a sudden there's a bit of pressure comes and they just get pushed aside. But it's absolute credit to the Sydney Swans. It was Parker, it was Heaney, it was Florent. They all got involved. Can they finish the job right now? We'll have a full analysis and wrap post-game right now. 21 points margin in favour of the Swans.
A couple of the superstars of those Olympic Games. Here is the start of the final quarter. You'd think the Bombers have got to do it early. So that's because they gave the ankle ball. What's that for, Richard?
They give it back to the umpire. The ball.
Yes. To the umpire instead of direct. So Brian out of the middle. High ball. Darman almost. Caddy. Can this stir him up? Langford. Hobbs. Martin. Everything's under pressure. Caldwell.
So the important first goal here for Essendon, they definitely have to kick it, and Caldwell's got the chance.
There's a free kick. Heaney
Gave it to Goulden. It's
Goulden knew straight away, didn't he?
It's a Ticky Touchwood sort of situation, but that's what it is.
Them's the rules.
So here is Caldwell. Fremantle Collingwood game was the big uproar.
Yeah. This, as you just said, is vitally important for the Bombers' spirit. Caldwell must goal, and he does. And they're back within 15. Early bites at the cherry. They need to rebuild their faith.
This is doing the simple things, put into a dangerous area. Nice strong mark there from Caldwell. He made him earn it. Goes back. It just shows how crucial Stringer's kick just before three-quarter time was. Would have had it back to within 10.
Perfect start for Essendon. His final term. Nicely trapped by McDonald. High one forward. Big one-on-one. McLean. And now Parrish.
Gee, this game swung on the centre bounce tonight.
Perkins to McGrath. We'll start getting some overlap run going, but Perkins ran straight into trouble, lucky to get away with it.
I love the process to try and run and create, but that was a risky handball. Got Redmond out wide. Yeah, long.
Brian running just both him, but luckily on the floor. There's Goulden to get in the way. Mills the support act. Did well to Melican. Squirted the handball to Heaney. Heaney to Jordan. McCartan here now. Juggler. Was it McDonald? It's the latter. McDonald.
They've got nothing to lose, Essendon, though, Hodgie. Have they? I mean, why not take it on? You've got to win to stay alive.
Oh, you'd much prefer that than what they were doing in the third quarter. Very stagnant.
Goulden through the stoppage with brilliance. McDonald squaring ball. Works. Parker, what an impact he's had. Two third-quarter goals.
Got it all going, didn't he, with that one from outside 50. He just took ownership in the third quarter and kicked it. Centre bounces. He did well to recover and mark that ball.
For the answering goal here. We are right behind Luke Parker. And that's his third. losing situations where he couldn't get a game for Sydney, and everyone looked at it and said, that's how well they're going. He's one of their all-time greats.
When the clearances are 10-4, your back's against the wall, you're probably going to man up on this bloke a little bit closer than what Essendon did. Parrish was happy to stand there by himself, but when you got Gordon, who was so good in and around the clearances, was on the move, got the clearance out, and Parker, he's been the main instigator who's changed the game. He went into the centre in the third quarter, got clearances, he's kicked 3 goals in the second half.
Amazing vision, Hodgie, of that. Now he can be free. And the stoppage is beyond me. Merritt. The back doors Mills to Florent. Had a ripping third quarter, Ollie Florent. The main instigators in the revival is Martin. Will need to get rid of it. Does just. Likewise, Roberts. Shield. Redmond. Martin. Little low ball. Not the required journey. Stringer. Shakes. Bakes. Nearly got caught with the footy. Langford strong in the contest. Gresham. Little threader of the handball to Hobbs. On to Caddy. Oh, he sold some foot candy. The big man. And he gave it to fresh air. And he apologises. And Brad's eyeballs are popping out.
He just felt the pressure on his leg there. It probably would have been smothered.
Marty down. Heaney. A tumbler. Rowbottom.
These are important moments now for Essendon. Locked in their forward line.
Florent to Durham. Caldwell kicks it straight up and down.
You can see the look on Brad Scott's face. What could they do? They've had so many opportunities, especially in that first half. But even then, there's probably 3 chances there that one of his players could have put that through for a goal. Still up by 7 inside 50s.
Have it inside 50. Caldwell again, and great chase and tackle from Jordan. Just got the handball away. Scramble.
Just been good a number of times tonight, Caldwell. You think he's gone in a tackle and he just finds a way to release it.
Here he is.
He doesn't give up. He fights through. And a number of times, I thought he was gone 2 or 3 times.
Silly, watch the front, Gia.
Bit of an arm wrestle going on here at the moment. Sydney have worked their way to a 21-point lead. Can the Bombers just lay it all on the line and have one last go at it? Marty picks it off. High ball, 2-on-1 here for the Bombers. Kelly under pressure. Mackay's got to go down low. Did it well. Redmond. There's the risky ball, and I guess that's what they've got to do here, JB Laverty.
Everything's got to be risky. Just go.
They don't get over Sydney tonight, Richo. That's the end of it.
No, tomorrow, so let's take it on.
Stand.
21 points with 14 minutes left is very gettable in modern footy. Stringer. Deep into the pocket. Hand to it was the big man Draper. Langford kept it in. Lloyd floated in. Roberts' handball was terrific. Mills. McLean. They get out of that superbly.
Have clean with the hands in D50.
Jordan. And the short ball here is good. Youngster and Cleary.
Had to come back there.
Stand.
Had nothing forward. Got Heaney down the line on Shield. That's a viable option. Waited too long. Draper's there.
Gee, Gordon came off the bench and was ready to accept as well. Beautiful half volley pick up from the man with great skill. Draper. Marty underneath it, Martin. Beautiful spinning pirouette move, out of trouble, but then got wound up in the tackle by this man.
Both subs on the gates ready to come into the game. So there's Corey Warner for the Swans and Jai Menzie for the Bombers. Just waiting to see who is subbed out of the action.
Taking a long time to go here. Gee, the umpire gave him a long time then, considering it wasn't designated shot at goal, but Heaney's
BT, that kick there was outstanding from Gordon. Shaped, he pulled all the defenders into the corridor, knowing full well he was coming back to the skinny side to Heaney. That is as good as you get.
Love the way this guy prepares, thinks about what it is he's trying to do, and then does it. Heaney around the corner. Magnificent bender on his non-preferred. 27-point lead. Heaney with the 3 to go with Parker's 3. And the first nail is in the coffin.
Let's have a look. We're going to have a look at that kick again from Errol Gordon. Just simply outstanding. Look how he goes inboard and then just pulls it back to Heaney. The Essendon defenders were probably expecting something to the top of the square there. Down to you, Abs.
Yes, so the subs are in. It is Nick Bryan for the Bombers and it's Taylor Adams for the Swans.
Shield comes away. Beautiful open field run at top of the square. He goes. Langford takes the mark, walks in, and goals for the Bombers. Can't do it any cleaner than that. Out of the centre square. And the Bombers hang in.
This is where the belief from Essendon still has to. It's only, 21 points. They've shown that they can get their hands on the ball. They can get inside forward 50. They do have the forwards that can convert if they give themselves opportunities. 4 goals in football these days can happen very, very quickly.
Grundy, row bottom, clearance. Marty charging it. This might get it. Will. Good mark.
One of the first times tonight he's had a good look at it where he can run at full pace and run and jump. Let it come to his chest, which is always a worry in this situation. You bring the defender back into it.
Mackay here just loses body contact. I'm not sure why in a forward 50, defensive 50, that you'd split from your full forward and let him get a clear run and jump at the ball. Got to be more aggressive than that as a defender.
Marty. 45 metres. Goal. .27 lead here now. Equals the game high.
What about those 2 centre clearances?
That's what you want as a forward, JB. Bit of one-on-one style out of the centre bounce.
Walking going on there. Peter Costello's off.
This is the frustration thing for Essendon is, look, you know, as a fullback, you can't give a full forward a run and jump. You've just got an important goal back, get you back within 4 goals. Then City get a clear centre clearance out, and you get your full forward to take an uncontested mark.
4 goals from centre bounce for Sydney tonight. That's a big number. And he tries to get on the end of that. Shield goes and finds it ground level. Martin. Dylan Shield drops it into the path of mark. Warner the sub on the mark. Across the ground go the Bombers. Jake Kelly drops what he should have taken, and over it goes.
Sure why he kicked that back to the field umpire then. Pretty basic mistake. And this season is not that many minutes away from being over for the Bombers. Parrish. Ron Shield was there. Roberts. Out wide, Wiedemann. Pushed out of the way by McLean. Somehow got through the ball mid-air. Amadi. Looking for a receiver. Campbell. Left foot of Goulden. He's a good user. Tries to get it inside. Just missed McDonald. Picked off by McGrath. McGrath goes straight up the middle to Parrish.
He's got to go.
Come out wide. They've got a few numbers here.
I feel like they've just got to stream forward here, the Bombers, and take every risk. Not a great kick from Archie Robertson. He's picked off by Rowbottom.
Sydney don't have to take too many chances now. They can possess a little bit.
That's exactly what they're doing, Cleary. They can possess, but just keep running time off this clock. Very professionally drilled organisation, the Swans. McCartan, Melican, to Jordan.
They'll be happy to go back the other way here.
That's about 1:20 in possession, Richo.
Yeah. They've been able to shut it down now.
So the long one goes down the line. McLean, well done.
It's a great kick though. Got it to advantage. Had a big height difference there, McLean.
They wrestle. Amadi gets the kick away and slots it. Something out of nothing for Joel Amadi. He has kicked the last two of the game, and that's going to make it very tough for Essendon.
This is just well built up from Sydney. They didn't rush. They switched it over the open side. It was composed. They got long down the line to McLean. And then he just got it into a forward line. And as you said, Richard, if you get it into a dangerous position, all you need is a little bit of smarts from a forward, a little bit of skill. And on this occasion, it was Amadi. They will throw it onto his left and sneak it in.
20 years since they've won a final. 50 years, 56 years since they won a final under anyone other than Kevin Sheedy. And they're not going to do it again this year, the Bombers. Wonder whether this list is good enough to get a finals win done. I'm not sure, given this year, how much more improvement there is in the older group. Is it possible, Richo, that the list is just not quite good enough?
Well,
rather than it being anyone's fault.
Well, there's always holes in a list, Brian, when you don't make it to September. Look, they're not that far away.
Almost. Draper. Melican. Nice fly at the ball. He'll be enjoying being back in this team. Especially with finals around the corner.
Still think, the key forward situation, they haven't really got settled. Peter Wright was the man for a while there, but he's out of the team at the moment. Because Stringer and Langford, they're not key 12 size.
Mills goes to Blakey.
Harry Jones is sort of playing up the ground more.
Hasn't had to do a hell of a lot of slithering tonight, the Lizard. He's just quietly gone about his business. It's directed straight into the big arms of Draper.
Stand, Brody.
We've got Brian in the ruck. They've been playing Draper forward, but is he going to be a key forward moving forward, or is he a ruckman that pinches forward?
All in there to Harrison Jones. Roberts ducked under any potential tackle, came out with a nice around the corner ball to Haywood. He goes to an open goal. Look at the goal umpire. He hasn't even moved. It's a 40-point lead.
And this was just a long down the line win from the Sydney Swans into Roberts. Love it when they get the ball in his hands. Such a beautiful kick, got great vision. And then when you find Haywood with so much space, as soon as that ball come off his boot, he's never missing. Goal umpire, as you said, did not move.
11-4 to 3-5 since half-time for the Swans. Heaney has been instrumental in that. Speaking of good kickers, Hodgie Goulden is one of those. Campbell's another one. They've got lots of them wearing the Swans jumper. Goulden goes forward again. Mackay tracks it over. So the ladder reads well if you're a Swans fan. Hard to see, in fact impossible to see them not ending up as the number one team at the end of the home and away.
He can freshen up players if he needs to now, John Longmire. Does anyone with any sort of issue?
2 games and percentage and a heap of percentage, so they are safe. Through comes Warner. Parrish, Merritt, Martin. And they chain it out to Roberts. Long ball from him, but it's ill-directed. Melican swallows that up.
Been important having Melican back too, JB. Their structure.
All of their little pieces in the puzzle, Richo, they all matter. Doesn't matter what role they do. Off hands. It's interesting, no Dyson Heppel here tonight. It's a free kick. It's going to go the way of Sydney as well. And, you know, they're playing for a spot in the 8, so you're playing your best team. They didn't see Heppel in it, but a lot of people would be a little confused about that, perhaps, Richo.
Oh, Essendon fans. Yeah,
Essendon fans.
I know you're passionate Essendon fans. You know, probably wanted to see Dyson out there, but you've got to pick what your best 22 is when your season's alive.
You're playing for seats.
Especially when they're that hungry to play in finals, to try and get a finals win. I've got no doubt if Febble's body's okay, that he'll be playing next week.
It's actually a good sign from Brad Scott to show that he's meaning business. Essendon fans should look at it that way. And Dyson Heppel's been a great player for you, there's no doubt about that. Kicks the goal. Sydney, 46-point leaders. Three.
It's a good return for him.
Just important cog, isn't he? That mid-sized marks overhead.
Where the goals come from, Richard. Heaney 3, Haywood 3, Parker 3. They're a different scoring team.
And they get more midfield goals than anyone. I still think come September they want the big boys up forward to kick a couple more.
It's important for the Bombers to really fight it out. Their last 2 games last year, they really fell away with big losses. Obviously, their second half hasn't been ideal. They still need to finish off this game, finish off next game.
12 goals to 3 it's been, Hodgie.
That's the disappointing thing. There's been no fight. Sydney have been able to do whatever they've wanted to throughout the middle. Clearances, been able to move the ball.
Durham hacks it forward, works to Hobbs.
How important is Jordan for their finals campaign, Hodgie? I mean, he's been able to shut Zach Merritt out tonight. Score involvement's only 2. It's an important thing to have going into finals.
Did a really good job with Dacos last week. And as you said, it doesn't confuse their centre bouncers as well. They can save their best players in there getting the clearances.
Hobbs drags that left, searching for distance.
That's the thing. He can come from the half forward line, so he's smart enough to be able to start out, communicate with who's going to go to his player, while he comes into the centre and tags their number 1 player for the opposition.
Roberts coming at him, sees himself in chipping his way out of defence. And the boys speak of James Jordan.
It's amazing how Sydney continue to do that, though. They'll find someone who's an in-out player for another team or on the fringe, bring him in and give them a role. They turn out to be very, very important people for Sydney.
Down to the last 4 minutes. Can Sydney keep getting away with playing a half or a quarter of football, Hodgie, as you come into the better teams in finals?
Yeah, I think that's the concerning thing for John Longmire, given teams start. So they were good for the first 15 minutes last week, and you mentioned that before the game, but
37 inside 50s and a half they gave Essendon tonight.
Yeah, and that's the thing, if you give that against a top 4 team, you give that to Geelong, you give that to Geelong in the first round of finals, they're a team that's going to make you play on the scoreboard.
Sends it long. For the intended target. Competing well tonight. Gresham trying to get his way through. There is Merritt. Boundary throw as Gresham introduced himself to the fans, a lot of which have gone home. The Bombers anyway.
Might have been a cold beverage that got spilled over your shirt there.
Yeah, not happy.
Saying going to buy me one now.
Looks like Swans fans too.
Look at the guy, he's not worried about that. All he's worried about is beer.
He'll invoice the Bombers for, what's a schooner, $25 here?
Through the hands of Roberts.
Not cheap.
I know you were being facetious, Richo, but you probably won't be far away. Mackay. Measures the kick to Mark. Kicked a couple in the first 2.
Harrison, looking, take him away free.
I guess when you're searching for positives, Richo, with the Bombers, Caddy looks like he's going to be a player. Roberts looks like he's going to be a player, so might have just unearthed a couple.
Harrison.
Well, these boys have been around the club for a while. They're 2 first-yearers.
Caddy's a player. I mean, this guy has had an outstanding year as well, lining up for his 3rd goal in 30. I mean, he can't do much more.
And he's very good by foot. Got his 3rd. Nick Martin.
What a recruit he was.
Yeah.
Gee, bargain kicker.
Yep. So Archie Roberts.
Yeah.
They got him in the mid-50s. All Australian in his 18th year. They're the ones you want to come through.
So, 30 and 3 for Nick Martin. What a season he's had. It's up to 15 goals nearly from half back, 14 goals.
Good player. Draper. The charge was on out of the middle. That was a set as you get plan. Stringer to finish it off, won't get the journey. Rampy. He should have held the chest mark, but his desperation is good enough to get it done in the end. Been a quietish night for Jake Stringer. Durham. Got it off here to Menzie, the sub. And that's out of bounds. On the full. Stringer out of contract this year. If you're going to sign Jake Stringer, Richo, what out of contract? What are you thinking if you're from Bomberland?
Well, I guess it depends if there's other clubs sort of offering him stuff as well. BT, 2 years, you'd think, wouldn't you?
Clean. Nice.
I mean, the best is as good as a lot of the good players in the comp, but I guess it's just in between for Jake.
Good mark, Mackay. So nothing is going to stop Sydney from finishing on top and having a home final as kick-off their finals campaign, and of course they win that. They've got a home prelim. They are in cherry-ripe shape. Stringer gets a hand to that. Caldwell flicks it on. And Menzies will pound along one inside 50. Swans everywhere, simple for Mills.
Mills to finish it off here for Sydney. Now going to finish on top of the ladder regardless of the last game. They will hold top position on the ladder. They'll become the minor premiers for the 10th time, and on the previous 9 occasions when they have been minor premiers, they have made it all the way to the grand final. 9 out of 9.
Book your grand final tickets, you say?
Yep. Sydney win 39 points over the Bombers.
Second half could not have been any more impressive. Always been very well supported here in Melbourne. Lots of South Melbourne fans. Abby, let's get to you.
Isaac Heaney, back-to-back wins to lock down a top 2 spot. So we're up to that.
It's nice, yeah, it's good. We still need to. The start was a bit better, but it was still a bit disjointed early. But fitness is pretty key at the moment, and some healthy boys are also helping.
What are we going to do about these starts? Because the Bombers were well on top in a number of facets of the games at half-time, but you've turned it around beautifully and come away with a win.
Yeah, they, to be honest, it's been the contest again, and we're probably a bit slow there, and they're on the first punch and initiating contact and stronger than us there. So the second half was a lot better. We got back to making a dirty footy, and it helps.
What about your second half? I mean, 5 touches to half-time with some close attention by Jai Caldwell, of course. But how do you, set yourself for a massive second half and ultimately help your team to victory with 3 on the board?
He's a tough little fella, and he's fit too, fast, and he's proven he's a good footballer. But it was been a bit crook throughout the week, so I'll keep my distance. But a bit lethargic early, and then I just know my run's always there, and got to stick to that. And it was back. And I was initiating contact too, which helped. So it was nice to respond.
Adelaide at home next week, and then of course we hit finals, and we don't look too far ahead. But to know that you've potentially locked down top 2, you don't need to leave the SCG until a pretty important day in September. Are you happy with the position that this group is in?
Absolutely. I think you'll look at the positives in things, and that probably 6-week period was a challenging one, and we're better for it, I believe. And we're now getting back to some of our better footy, which is nice, and we've got to stick strong and know that our system holds up, and boys playing with confidence helps. And we won't look too far ahead, but it's nice to know that hopefully a couple games at the SCG.
Before I let you go, I'm going to Chad Warner out there tonight. He missed his first game of the season. Did you miss him?
Always miss him. Always. He's a highlight reel, that bloke. He's outstanding, and you do miss him. But we've got other players to step up. You look at Parks coming into the guts and do his thing, and he's just an absolute bull in there and just so composed. So it's nice to have him in there, and we'll have to check that next week, which will be nice.
Congratulations, gone so good up.
Thank you, Tom.
Welcome back to Friday Night Footy on Fox. It's brought to you by the Ford F-150, and beyond some sort of a miracle, the Sydney Swans are going to finish on top of the AFL ladder for season 2024. Outstanding performance. They trailed by 7 points at half-time. They kicked 12 goals to 4 in the second half, and Anytime you finish on top of the AFL ladder after a gruelling season like this, you are in ripping shape. They've got some things to sort out, and we'll get to them in a minute, but, hey, on top, you take that all day long.
Absolutely, yeah. Good win in the second half especially. So players running themselves into form. The big guns stood up again, which we'll get to, but they got a bit of Collingwood about them last year.
Maybe.
Collingwood went off in the back end of the year, and then they fired up in September. So maybe they're just waiting. Here's the ladder now. Obviously, Sydney, it's a mighty effort, isn't it? So take nothing away from it.
So they'd have to lose next week and Port Adelaide would have to make up, that 13%, which is not happening. So well done.
Well, half a footy's better than a quarter of footy, which is what we saw last week. And then obviously the questions are about Essendon falling away so badly. Their back half just simply couldn't handle Sydney's inside 50s and to score 12 goals from 30 entries in the second half. It was a big turnaround from 18 entries for 3 goals in the first half. So chalk and cheese for Essendon, but Sydney, they've found a way to finish the games well. They've just got to start them a bit better.
And the question all week, or for the next couple of weeks, Geordie's going to be how reliant are they on these superstars? Because they were just plodding along, and then again, Parker exploded and Heaney exploded. And they've won by 40 points, whatever it was in the end, 39 points.
Yeah, I think Mills was better as well. I mean, we spoke about him pre-game in terms of getting more possessions and getting involved. I think he had the 26. Cleary was pretty good up forward, that small sort of half forward. He didn't have too many touches, but I thought I think he had 11 and 7 scoring involvements. But you're right, that will always be the question mark. But the hardest thing is to lock those players down for 4 quarters. They look like a different side after half time. I don't know what they ate or drank at half time, guys, but they got a lot more energy.
When they can break even a contest, they're nearly unbeatable, aren't they? So Sydney, Essendon was still, I think, plus 18, plus 19 contested possession, but all that damage was done early.
Plus 20 in the end.
Yeah.
And you're right, it was break even from quarter time pretty much.
Yes, you feel like if they can break even, Gaz, their outside talent or their offensive talent can just cut you to ribbons.
So we'll sort of hone in on the areas they need to get better. The start's the thing. I mean, Blind Freddie can tell you that. Because they've come out here again and for the second time in 3 weeks been absolutely eviscerated from a contested possession point of view.
You just start Luke Park in the middle, guys. Every time he's gone in there the last couple of weeks, it's just been the spark. And you'd love to know how he sets this team up, because it seems like when he's in there, he is that older, experienced player, and then Heaney and those guys they just get this burst of energy to be able to go forward. So once again, putting him in there just really galvanise that midfield group and to be able to perform and get back on track in that part of the ground. 4 goals from centre bounce. That's a big return as well.
Yeah, 1 in the first quarter, then 3 in the second half. I mean, Essendon's midfield were excellent. We sat here an hour ago and spoke about how the Essendon midfield were going to work and putting the Sydney boys to task. But then it was chalk and cheese when you came out after half-time. And Luke Parker was a part of it, but their better players got to work. Florent was excellent in the third quarter off the wing, finishing with a great goal and had 11 odd touches. So that's been a good move over the last couple of weeks for Sydney to find a little bit extra run.
So minor premiers for the 10th time, and on the previous 9 occasions they've at least made the grand final. So if you're a Swans supporter sitting back, you're feeling pretty good about life at the moment as these boys wander off from a game here or ground here in Melbourne for the last time. They take on the Adelaide Crows in Adelaide to round out their season next week. They've got players to come back. Chad Warner, of course, didn't play in this game. Mills is a really interesting watch. I'm glad you brought him up, Geordie. 4th highest ranked player on the ground, 10 intercept possessions. We needed to see it. He'd had a just going 4 or 5 weeks, but maybe we're a little bit impatient. But I think that's as all the signs that came out of this afternoon, or this evening rather, for me, that's the one that I'm just putting in the back pocket if I'm a Sydney supporter. The skipper, Callum Mills, find a bit of nick.
Yeah, that's Sam Groth there on the right-hand side.
Is he?
Tennis player.
All right, let's see if he sings a song. Great stuff, well done, our graphic department. They've been channeling The Price is Right, the Summit this September.
It was a bike race last year.
It was, but they got on the Summit this time, and The good news is they've fallen safely on a nice soft patch of snow down there, but they're off. They're off, so they're down to however many that is. What's that, 8 or 9 there? 9.
9.
Down to 9, so only 9 can make it now.
Oh, well, no, Collingwood would be 10.
Oh, yeah.
Is that, Kenwood, depending on Collingwood's game tomorrow against Brisbane.
We're about to speak to James Jordan in a moment in the Sydney room, so it'll be a good chat. He did a terrific job on Zach Merritt. 17 touches, Zach Merritt, but only 2 score involvements. He was good last week against Nick Dacos as well. He's been super all year, and for John Longmire to have that card to play at some stage, it's pretty comforting.
There's different types of run. We saw Jordan with an absolutely hard lockdown. Caldwell with a run with, still got plenty of touches himself, and I thought he played an excellent game. But Heaney, when he took him forward, did a lot of damage as well.
Let's go down to the Sydney rooms. James Jordan, he's made the big move from the Melbourne Footy Club. He's landed up there in Sydney, and now he's in the team that's going to finish on top of the AFL ladder. Jimmy, well done, mate. Nice work. Great year so far.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Bucks. Appreciate it. It was a great win tonight, and it's been a great year.
Did you go up there and tell us at what stage? I know you've had the capacity to do these roles in the past, but at what stage did Johnny Longmire grab your side and say, listen, son, we might give you a couple of jobs here?
Yeah, it was probably the Gold Coast game. Horse came to me during the week, and he thought that Noah Anderson role to play on him would be a good role and good matchup, and it's sort of just flown on from there. And I felt like I did a pretty good job of that, and I felt like I've been able to help the team in a different way. So yeah, it's been great, and I'm a pretty competitive person, so I'm loving it.
James, you surged as a team in the last quarter last week, and the second half tonight looked very similar. What was the message from the main man, the senior coach at halftime tonight that happened to spark you guys into action?
Yeah, we just wanted to get our contest up and play the game in our forward half, and I think in the second half we're able to play a forward half game, and we can really score and hit the scoreboard. So I felt like we were able to do that in the third quarter, and we've been able to get a run on and keep it going.
I don't know, James, has there been concern amongst the playing group that you played in fits and spurts for the last probably 2 months of football?
I wouldn't say concerns, but we've definitely, we probably haven't started as well as what we've liked. And, last week we did a better job, and tonight was okay. So, we really want to hone in on trying to play that 4 quarters. And if we can do that, then we'll be very hard to beat.
Jim, well done on your game and nullifying Zach Merritt. We spoke about Luke Parker as well. Last week he goes in the middle. This week it seemed like it was the same sort of story. What does he bring to that midfield group? It seems like it allows Heaney and Gould and those guys to be more offensive, and he's that inside bull.
Yeah, absolutely. He's been a quality player for all of his career, and when he goes in there, he really gives the boys a lift, and and then he can swing forward as well. We've seen his impact tonight forward of the ball, but yeah, if he can go in the midfield, then we've got Haynes that can drift forward and get on the end of a few.
Yeah, the young fella, Keenan Cleary, is it? Is that Caden Cleary, sorry, who I thought did an excellent job, especially early, even when there wasn't a lot of forward supply. He seems to bring a lot of energy to your front half, and is he one that you think that can stay in the side and give you a bit of forward half pressure?
Yeah, absolutely. He brings a lot of energy, and for a first year player to come in and do what he's been doing is a credit to him, and he played really well tonight and was able to get on the end of a couple. So yeah, really well.
And Luke Parker, the veteran, just leading hard.
I asked that question, John.
But I'm just saying.
You're going a different direction.
I was going to ask him about the suspension. Coming back from the suspension.
Question. I apologise.
The influence he's been able to have on that group, and how he was around the group even when he was out.
Yeah, he was great. He's got such a level head, and as I said before, he's got a wealth of experience, and just his knowledge of the game as well. We've got a very young midfield group, and he sees the game so well. So boys would work with him during the week just about different things around the stoppage, and yeah, he sees the game really well. So he's been great.
Jimmy, where have you settled up there in Sydney? You got a little Bondi pad, Tamarama, Bronte. Where are you hanging out up there?
Yeah, I'm just around Bronte, so it's pretty nice.
What's the rent like?
Yeah, it's pretty expensive.
You didn't pay rent, you just paid cash for something on the Ocean View. Hey, well done, mate. You're very much in the position you need to be right now, on top of the table, and it's a big finals campaign to come. You're going to have a big role to play. Thanks for joining us, and well done.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
James Jordan there, premiership player with the Demons. He didn't get on, did he? He was the sub.
No, he didn't, but he's still a premiership player.
No, he's a premiership player.
He was
He's an important role player.
He was the least hyped recruit over the off-season, probably when the race has been run by the end of this season. Looks like he's going to play as important a role as Eddie.
Good point. Yeah, a big role player, hasn't he become so important too? Let's have a look now at some numbers from the superstar. So, stats that matter here, second half numbers. Isaac Heaney just the 5 touches in the first half. Second half went nuts. Luke Parker went nuts. Ollie Florent. I mean, all these players have just been influential. And they were flying in the middle of start of this season as well. They all just hit a bit of a quiet patch, but they're gathering again. And it's interesting. We'll unpack it as we go. We'll celebrate Isaac Heaney and Luke Parker particularly. But it's I guess all you can do is play a good 20 minutes. And as you said, Bucks, now you've played a good half. And maybe if they can put a really solid 4 quarters together next week, they're going to be in really good shape. But there are a couple of little areas they've got to work on. Isaac Heaney was magnificent. How good was he? And when he got going again in the second half.
Yeah, he's great. He's able to exploit the matchup. So the Coolwell did a great job there for periods. But this is going to be the danger going forward. If you're going to put a matchup on him, is that player that's playing on Heaney capable of being able to defend when he drags you forward? And we've seen again tonight, he kicked 3 goals. We know he's great at the contest.
Well, both of those times, Caldwell, the marks we've just seen there wasn't his direct opponent. So he's had hit-ups on a McGrath who, maybe a handover to the best sort of shutdown defender. And then obviously we saw where Zach Merritt got caught on him for that last hit-up. And that was such a beautiful kick here. So he's got great aerial capacity, finishes and finds the goals really well. He's been the consistent, those 2 surges that we've seen late last week and then this week. He's been the consistent. Parker, to a lesser extent. No Warner this week, but then Florent jumps up. Warner gets back next week, but Heaney has been the consistent, A-grade talent for them.
And this is the thing, right? So they've got 3 goals in total at half time.
Yeah.
They've kicked 6 between them by the end of the game. So 3 to Heaney, 3 to Parker. So it's critical because right now it's not a Marty, although he kicked a couple of late ones, and it's not McDonald and it's not McLean who's doing all the crunching. So this is how important these blokes are to this side, and Luke Parker's resurrection's been staggering.
It has. It's veteran leadership, no doubt. He'll be critical going into September. Obviously, where his role will be play forward, pinch hit in the midfield or go into the midfield spurts. But is it as simple as the veteran presence going in there just gives the younger mids confidence to get on the move and just back themselves in and play with a bit of flair?
Oh, I think so. I think there's certainly an element of that. I mean, the other thing with Parks, I mean, Heaney's goals all came from mid, so he played predominantly midfield the whole game and able to drift down. Parks does it in a little bit of a different way. He can set himself inside that forward 50, play a really smart defensive role, but what I loved is their accuracy in the second half. 12 goals for. So when their moments came, and you'll speak about Essendon in a minute, when they had their moments, they faltered. This side doesn't falter when their big moments come.
Well, 13 goals, 13 touches in a game isn't a massive game, but it's just the effect that he had with them. Potentially, he doesn't have the legs to play on the outside anymore. Maybe he is a legitimate inside ball that can help, win the ball and distribute to guys with better.
But predominantly as a forward.
Well,
and then going in as the inside ball.
The best effect that he's had in the last couple of weeks has been to actually get inside at centre bounce in particular.
He didn't score in the first half.
As a forward.
And then went forward. What about the ball movement, Geordie?
Yeah, I think this was a clear, just watching the game after half-time, it seemed like they wanted to get more energy with ball in hand, and that'd be either move the ball on, keep the ball in motion, or use your runners and just try and make the ground big and more chaotic, as it didn't really happen in the first. So bang, that handball wasn't given in the first half, which then doesn't give the forwards that spark to move. So ball movement further up the field, generated ball or presence further down the field. That was just a lapse in concentration from Essendon. But this is what I love, bang, handball received. They were really low in handball receives in the first half.
That corridor hasn't been open to them for the best.
No, but it hasn't, but they didn't look for it. So there was moments in the first half where they got the ball in the middle and they go wide. Essendon did a lot throughout this game, so they didn't challenge through that part of the ground. But this was a clear difference in the first half to the second half. The quickness and the ball in motion was much better in the second half.
Well, thanks to Zero, of course. So these are the things we think we don't think, we know that they're going to have to fix if they're going to win this premiership. And so the first quarters have been horrendous. And they're scoring. For the number one scoring team and remain the number one scoring team in the competition, but this is since round 16. So I think that will come. I'm not so concerned about that. And that's, this has stood up for the whole of the year, so we can't panic too much about this. I'm more concerned about the way they start games. So that's the number one priority, I would imagine, to fix. The contested possession count against Port Adelaide was horrendous. The contested possession count, this isn't the first quarter we're talking about, tonight, was horrendous again. So that's something they've got to get going, and this is the first quarter record since round 16. So they fix that, they fix their contested number, then all the other parts we think...
And and obviously James Jordan just spoke about that, the focus on the contest, wasn't it? So internally they're speaking the same.
Well, the last two results were against two clubs that are going to find themselves outside the 8, more than likely at the end of the year, Collingwood and Essendon. You do that against a top 4 side in a qualifying final, and you allow someone to get 5 or 6 goals up and you're halfway through the second quarter. Good luck clawing that back.
100%. So we Lord Sydney, we congratulate them. They're on top of the ladder and will be in a week's time, and sensational. The frustrations for this Essendon side are obvious. They get themselves into a position. They lost the last 2 games. I don't know whether they got that graphic here. I know I'm going out of order, but I'm just those last 2 results from last year. So they were competitive all year. They weren't far away from the finals, and this is the last 2 rounds, which I know gives Essendon supporters nightmares. They lost by 126 and 70 points. Do you know how hard that is to swallow and chew on over the next 6 months until you can get back again? So they've come in tonight at half-time. They're leading by 7 points. They think, oh, well, we're there, we're close enough for a chance. At least we're not going to have one of those. And they walk away. I know it's not the same, but they've given up 12 goals to 4 in the second half. That is a horrid result from a team that are panic merchants. And I know it sounds cruel, and if it was Melbourne, I would say exactly the same thing. The moment that third quarter started, we were all sitting on the couches watching it, and all of a sudden Sydney brings some pressure. They bring a bit of heat. And it was just a procession of panic.
The game was played in Essendon's back half, goes 20-8 inside 50.
For the first time.
And then in the first 5 minutes, a lot of these things happened. So this set up this first turnover goal and that free kick against Redmond.
And the anxiety builds. So then they're trying to pick that off around the corner, and then the pressure builds again, and then you make one mistake on top of another mistake, and then you kick the damn thing on, or you get smothered and you kick the thing out on the full. Harry Mackay. Harry. Ben. Harry's brother, Ben. Yeah, what are you doing, man? You just lose your mind. And then Corbell, complete the play. You turn the footy over at halfway when you least need it. Look at this. It just kept going. We're not making these up. These are a procession of mistakes, and it is signed off with Jake Stringer trying to get it. It's a good on, and this is a young man, so I'm not that concerned about it.
Keep the goal, son.
We want to keep the goal.
It is funny though, when you watch good sides, when the pressure ramps up, the basics just get done well. There's nothing flashy about it. That the marks get taken, the handballs get made, the tackles get taken, everything is clean.
You can see it in their eyes. I know
they want it too much,
and then they get nervous, and then the next bloke gets nervous, and then it's there's no calming influence, particularly in the back half.
Well, Brad Scott spoke about that we need to support our back 6 more. You couldn't have supported it any better through the first half because it just didn't have much work to do.
Didn't go down.
But then when it had work to do, it wasn't able to get that job done. And firstly, it's rebounding and being able to win enough contests or have enough contests until the cavalry come. Then it's rebounding. That's what you're talking about and witnessing, because too many handballs miss the target, silly free kicks against, and then it's so hard to defend.
Would you be concerned about some of their personnel though there, in terms of their basic skills, handballing and kicking, coming out of the back line?
Mackay is missing too many handballs. Laverde makes too many basic errors. Wiedemann's trying to make it happen, but that's a cumbersome start to your back line. Then you've got Kelly. McGrath's been excellent. I think he's tried well. Martin's been getting on the front foot, although he was up on the wing tonight. But They've struggled in the back half of this season. So that's 3 wins from their last 11 games. They've struggled in the back half of this year to hold up, for their back line to be able to hold up when the opposition gets momentum, and that costs you.
I haven't shown, it's Ben McCall. I haven't shown Ben at the end. Like Langford kicks a goal, they get to 21 points. I haven't got this, luckily for him. The ball comes deep. He's defending his opponent, Amadi. Amadi goes that way. Ben's let him go, and Ben goes around 2 players in the middle and goes that way. And Amadi takes the mark. I mean, that for Essendon supporters looking at that, they're going, what is that? We had half a sniff. 21 points Langford gets us back to. Next ball comes in, and our full back runs around 2 others so he doesn't have body on Amadi who takes uncontested mark.
Dare I say the McAndrew mark last week?
That's right, yeah.
No, spot on. There's 3 defenders there. No, you're right, the fundamentals and the basics that's why sides are inconsistent, because those parts of their game are inconsistent or not at a level where they should be.
So do you put that second half back towards the last 2 games of last year? Did you see the same thing?
I saw panic in the third quarter, right? I just saw the panic overcome a team. I don't know whether they went back in their own minds to that. Probably not, but it's a different group of players.
Once again, like the next 4 quarters for Essendon, no matter what finals look like or otherwise.
They play Brisbane next Friday night. Saturday night in Brisbane.
Up there. Like the way they finished this year, like we spoke about it at the beginning of the game, the 8 quarters is going to be crucial. Now, the first 2 were done really well. I think they competed pretty well in the last quarter. The third quarter tonight was
We're going to go, Ralphie, in just a second. So, no pressure from Sydney. This is the thing. This is why when you play Essendon, so Brisbane next week, they got their game to play yet. You're playing Essendon. If you don't bring the most ferocious pressure in your front half, then you are just being as negligent, because you have to ask a question of that Essendon defence. It wasn't asked in the first half. That's what was disappointing. That's why it's 4 goals to 3, and it was pretty, it was just, there was no energy. So if you don't bring that, that's what Essendon will do to you. Then you bring it, and you just, we can play that clip over and over. It just becomes deers in the headlights. So I can understand the pain from Essendon fans tonight when they look at that. Let's go to Johnny Ralph in the newsroom. Ralphie.
All right, folks, that's it. That's the game where the Sydney Swans were way too strong for the Bombers. 15-8, 98 defeating the Bombers, 8-11, 59. The Swans putting on 6 goals, 1 in that final quarter to the Bombers, 3 goals, 1. Season over for the Bombers. Sydney Swans will be minor premiers at the end of the year. Well done to them. As you heard the wrap up from the fellas, what they thought of the game. I ran through the stats there while they were talking. And we had the poll in tonight. Who's going to win tonight's game? 27 votes in. We had Sydney Swans, 59% of the votes. The Bombers, 40% of the votes. So the poll got it right again. Well done to all the folks who tipped the Swans. Well done to all the Sydney Swans supporters. Everyone who were cheering them on. Commiserations to the Bombers, of course. But that's about all I've got for this game. We'll be back again tomorrow with the next game. Should be an absolute cracker of a game. This is a game you don't want to miss, folks. This is the GWS Giants taking on the Fremantle Dockers. 3rd versus 6. Let's just have a quick look at that ladder. There's the Giants on 56. Freo on 50. Freo need to boost up. And, of course, the Giants are looking to go 2nd spot and get a home final, which is so vitally important. We're just this round and 1 more to come. All right, folks, that's all I got. We'll see you next time. Thanks all for coming in. Stay safe. Enjoy the rest of your Friday. We'll see you tomorrow. Ciao for now. We'll see you tomorrow.